Hey everyone, welcome to the Rooster Teeth Podcast. I'm wearing a white shirt.
Welcome
Fuck.
to the Rooster Teeth Podcast.
Why didn't anyone tell me? I just
It's a
realized I look at myself on
podcast.
camera. I'm
What's wrong
fucking
with
wearing a
the
white
white
shirt.
shirt?
What's the deal with
Shouldn't
the white
wear a
shirt?
white shirt on camera.
Why not?
It just looks, it's gonna look fucked up. Look at that.
It looks
It's
like
fucked up.
a bloke wearing a dirty white shirt.
It's just gonna blow out the camera. You can't see shit.
Dirty bloke wearing a white
There's no
shirt.
point in me being here now. Barbara's trying to get me to take my shirt
Oh,
off.
dude,
but
you
I'll
can
give me another
advertise
shirt.
the new
Throw it
shirt
over.
that I was meant to wear.
Wow, worst throw
what a-
ever. You barely made it in frame.
It didn't
Okay.
even get on the platform. Blaine will get it. All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, welcome
thank
to the
you. This
podcast.
week featuring Gus
Gavin.
Blaine.
And Bernie.
and Gus.
Shit.
Give me a second. I'm going to
wearing
put the shirt on.
a pretty lush suit today.
Thanks. So it was my first time, so I thought I'd make a good
Yeah.
first impression. So.
Yeah, it was a big debate beforehand whether or not to wear the suit. Blaine was like, do I wear the suit? Do I not wear the suit?
I don't think I've ever seen you in clothes that fit.
We rarely see him in clothes.
I went with.
Are you
casual.
making fun of somebody for wearing clothes that are too small? You wear like a European women's medium.
Well, here was my problem. I wear medium in the UK.
Right.
I bought a ton of medium clothes here, and they're too big. I have to wear small. But
Americans are
small,
fat.
small is smaller than medium, but medium's bigger than medium.
Medium's bigger than medium, but small is smaller than medium.
Yep.
Okay.
American small is smaller than UK medium,
So the
but
British,
American medium is bigger than UK medium.
the UK medium does not exist in the US. That are like small and a half.
Yeah.
Right?
That's what
Is that
I
what
need.
you're saying? All
I
right.
need small 1.5.
I'm back.
So you have our new shirt that's up for T-shirt. Is this T-shirt Tuesday?
Yeah, Beacon Academy.
Beacon Academy
Are we
shirt.
trying to get sued by every company on the
Disney,
planet?
yeah.
What are we doing?
I don't know what you mean. How would that
I
be?
have no idea. It's an original creation
That
created by
looks
Rooster Teeth Productions.
Familiar.
A creation of Monty from the mind of Monty
Ayum?
Is
Monty
it or Ohm?
I don't know.
I miss Disney.
So why the fuck are you wearing a suit?
Oh, it's my first podcast.
I
So,
like it. You don't like the effort that he's making?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna bring chocolates. Legitimately, was
I
gonna bring
applaud your
chocolates.
effort.
Where
Why
are they?
didn't you bring chocolates?
Just
It's even worse is not bringing them and
cherries,
telling us
berries,
you
Why
were
the
going
fuck
to
would
do
you
it.
tell us you were going to bring chocolates if you didn't bring chocolates?
Oh god.
What else were you going to
Minimum
do?
hormone stick.
I'm sorry,
Blowjobs?
baby. I was going to buy you flowers. I swear. I just didn't.
I was going to be a better person. It turned out I wasn't.
I'm just going to sit here in my suit and drink my beer now. That's you.
I like my suit.
All right, I'm
We don't
going,
have a suit. I don't have a suit.
expensive?
I'm going to Tweeter.
It's an express suit. Last time I mentioned Express, somebody was it Burnie?
It was me.
You were giving me shit.
I didn't know the dude shopped at Express, and then I asked the group we
What's
were with.
Express?
It's a great store.
It's a store for women.
Brandon shops at Express. Aaron shops at Express.
This
Blaine
list is
shops at
not
Express.
getting manlier at all. You're going downhill.
I actually have a suit jacket I bought at Express.
Ah,
Because I had to go to a fancy restaurant for dinner once, and they had a dress code. You had to wear a jacket. I was like, fuck. So I just started going to stores trying to find the cheapest suit jacket I could. I found a suit jacket for $20 that fit me at Express. I was like, perfect.
don't they provide jackets
Not at
at
that
some of those
place.
places? No.
No.
So
No.
what was the total cost of this suit?
I don't know. They had the thing about Express is they have sales like constantly. So it's like buy one,
God
get
damn
one.
it. Fucking mute your phone.
I was in the
Don't
middle
get
of
so
talking
upset.
last
Don't
time it
get so
happened.
upset.
What was that ringtone?
He's had a very busy day.
It went off just like fucking 30 seconds
But I was
ago.
talking and I didn't want to draw attention to it.
So
Play
You're
failed.
the one who's drawing attention
Who called?
to it.
Who called? Who interrupted our
It was
podcast?
a text.
Who texted?
Nope.
What did they say?
Nah.
all right. Sorry.
It was
saw-
Dan.
No,
Dan?
It wasn't. No, it wasn't. I read it. I'm not gonna say who it was. I'm not gonna write it yet. I don't know. Total like 300. We're gonna go with that. They have a summer sale. It's like everything's 50% off, so it's pretty great.
So this is
for
an
the shoes.
off-the-rack suit,
Yes.
not tailored in any way.
No.
Well, you look good in it.
Oh, thanks.
Well,
Are you single?
Yes, I am. Very. So.
Why vary?
here's
Yeah.
here's the I can tell
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Blaine
wait,
is
there's,
single.
there's not like differing degrees
You
of
can't
single.
go
There
fucking
is.
anywhere with Blaine where he's not constantly. This is Blaine. Wherever you go, it's like as soon as you get the car, it's like this. He's on Tinder 24 hours a fucking day. Which is the
find a
one where
bird.
you don't like women when you swipe left or
It's
swipe right?
right. No. Right is yes. Left is nope. It's nope. It's not.
Nope.
It's just nope.
That's Blaine. Blaine's
So it's like
nope,
super
nope,
dismissive.
Nope,
Nope.
nope, nope.
Yeah. My ex-girlfriend's from Tinder. That worked out, I guess. 3 months. Going strong.
Where are you from, Tinder?
Do you know why he broke up with his girlfriend? Can we talk about that?
Yeah, it's fine. Go for it. Yeah.
He broke up with his girlfriend because she said to him one time, "Where are you going?" He goes, "I'm going to work." She says, "You work a lot," so he broke up with her.
No.
That was the whole conversation.
She was just like always on my balls about working, and I was like, it's it's what I do. It's I don't know. It was difficult balancing that in school and working out. Well, just opening myself up to a lot. Yeah,
So would you break up with a girl because she interferes with your workout time?
I have before.
Oh my god!
Wow.
It's hard. It's like
But what
micromanaging, and I can't handle that.
What was the conversation that you had that was the breakup conversation?
She wanted to go hang out And I was like, you know what? I've had an entire week of work. I was like, I'd really like to take today off. And she's like, okay. So I was like, yeah. So then I was walking around. I was thinking, I was like, you know what? I think I'd be a lot better off if I was single. So I broke up with her. And things were going well. I just looked at her Facebook last night and I was like, I made a mistake. She was really hot. So I made a pretty big mistake.
Wait a minute. There was nothing in that conversation that would lead to a breakup.
Yeah.
It was, I don't want to go out because I'm tired from work. And she said, okay. And then I thought about it and I should break up.
Yeah,
with
then I
her.
went on a walk.
No,
and I said,
it was like
"Let's
a
break
building
up."
thing. Like she was constantly giving me shit because I was up at the office late. And I was like, you know.
You just gave an example of her not giving you shit, though. She was very accommodating.
No.
Yeah, it was like everything was going well, and then I decided to break up. That's what I heard.
I kind of, I smoothed over some
now
details.
I regret it.
Well, she was pretty hot.
What you gotta do is you do the wisdom wank. Have you ever done one of those?
The wisdom wank?
Oh, it's like when you're unclear and then you jerk off and then it's like everything is just like right in the world.
You monk it off, and then if you still want to be with her after that,
Kara's in the other room going, what? It's an absolutely legitimate strategy.
Yeah.
Absolutely is.
wisdom wank.
Yeah. Guys think much more clearly.
Without all that semen in their brain.
It is. You got to empty out everything, and then you're good to go. You make terrible decisions when you're full up.
But there's something about that moment after where you're just like,
The what after?
it's the moment after where it's just like really depressing. You know, like if you've made a mistake and you're like, I've made a terrible
Do you know why
mistake.
that is? You know why guys get tired after sex?
It's not
And, like,
tired, it's just sad. But
You
whoa,
get
whoa, whoa.
sex brain or whatever, depressed. It's because you don't want to live, basically.
You
at that
get
point.
sad after sex.
Yeah, you don't? I mean, it's not sad.
I don't get
it's
sad.
depending on the situation. If it's like someone I should, man, my parents are gonna be listening to this and they're gonna kill me. If it's somebody that you shouldn't have been with, then you just automatically realize it's like I've made a horrible mistake, and you just like full.
Oh,
of
yeah,
regret.
you're talking about what you're talking about is the moment of clarity.
Yeah.
That's what you have
like
afterwards.
super clarity.
Well, that's what Gavin, you're basically describing the exact same thing. That afterwards, immediately, you have a clear mind, and you're like, oh, I should make these decisions differently.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could break up with someone. I've never done it.
You break up by not replying to people, though, right?
That's not breaking up. That's like if
What is that? There should be a word for that. It's like muting someone. It's basically what you do. Like you mute yourself in their life.
Yeah.
Like they had a boyfriend, and now they still have a boyfriend. You're just turned off.
You're like
You blocked them.
procrastinating.
He doesn't even block
so
them.
you're
That's
kinda
too
putting it
active.
off.
well, if it was like an actual relationship, there's no way you could do that. Like if I had a girlfriend, I wouldn't just disappear.
What defines an actual girlfriend, though?
Like girlfriend.
Okay.
Well, I
Thank
don't
you.
know, like real.
What is that? Everyone who's ever dated you is
Well, like
no.
someone you're not dating, they're actually your girlfriend.
And then what do you do? So when you break up, you just go like, how did you break up, Blaine, with your girlfriend?
I hate to say it, but it was over the phone. But I think I did meet her in person, and I just said, "Listen, things aren't working out." I laid it all out for her, and then I just said, "I think we should be apart."
Did
But-
she understand better than we do? Because I think we're still dating after our conversation.
Yeah, I don't know. It kind of had some fallout. Not to get too into details,
Okay.
but like it kind of lasted for a while, and then there was a very like clear moment where she was just like, "Fuck you," and then it just was kind of.
So you're not friends anymore.
No, and she's dating a new guy, and he's got 1 year that's like this.
It's okay. It's
You
really,
don't have to build yourself up.
sure,
by
he's a
putting them down.
perfectly rational person
Well-
who doesn't go on walks and come back breaking up.
I'm gonna be a dick and say that anytime I've ever broken up with a girl,
Yeah,
or,
start being a dick now.
or I've been with somebody, and I look at who they're dating currently, I'll just compare myself and be like, well, he isn't, he doesn't have a.
No, you have no right to do that. After you
why
break
not?
up with somebody, that's it. You
Yeah?
don't get to go back and look and see, like, compare or anything like that. Do you call her and go, it's not as good? That thing? Do you do that?
Yeah,
Facebook
anonymously.
comments.
No, I don't do that. That'd be rude.
What's
Because she knows. I know she knows.
What's the most passive aggressive thing that you can do on Facebook? Like something and then unlike it?
No, because lots of times I normally never like anything on Facebook, but I'll do it by accident all the fucking time.
I got a ton of
And it's
texts
like-
and tweets saying,
and-
"Oh, I can't believe you think men should have pubes." And I was like, "What are you talking
Yeah.
about?" Oh, some idiot posted an article and I scrolled by and liked it.
Yeah, and then
That means you read it, though. That
No, it
means
doesn't.
no, not always. Like
evident.
sometimes you'll click by accident, or sometimes I'll click like someone posts something stupid on Facebook, like and unlike, and then my wife says, "How can you do that?" And I said, "What do you mean?" I'll say, "What do you mean?" She goes, "Because now they know that you liked it, but when they look, they don't see your name there. They know you unliked it." Like, I don't give a fuck what they think.
You
I
mentioned-
really don't fucking care.
You mentioned something similar where, like, if you're on someone's Twitter, then you, like, follow them. You're just, like, following
all
them.
the time, dude.
And then
the
you
amount
get a
of people, the amount of people who tweet me saying, "I'm so excited that Gavin followed me," and then I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah.
sorry."
Well, I'll tell you what. I've been on the internet long enough in my life that now if somebody on Twitter does something stupid, like I've been very clear about if you text a certain joke to me, I'll definitely block you. Or if somebody's like really egregious and makes comments in the YouTube channel and I ban them from our YouTube channel, which we can totally do. We can ban people's accounts. Before I ban or block somebody, I follow them first. Then I block them. Because then they get the alert, Bernie Burns following you. And they're like, whoa, that's really, and then blocked. So it's like, I want them to have the full roller coaster of it. Because I know that the people who are being assholes online are doing it, just because they want attention, basically. I mean, that's the mentality of a troll online, right?
Yeah, of course, absolutely.
So yeah, I'll follow them from Rooster Teeth. I'll subscribe to their YouTube channel, and then immediately ban them after.
But don't they show up in like who you're following?
Sure, for about 4 seconds, and then they're banned.
I didn't realize that.
I feel like that's more stinging if I do it that way.
Yeah.
Do you take offense to, or do you know of somebody that takes offense to, like, when someone unfollows you or when you unfollow someone else? It's like a friend.
I think all that stuff is insane. Like, there's
How would you
three
notice?
people. There's 3 people on Facebook
I tell 'em.
that I follow that I don't want to follow anymore, and they're Jeff Williams, Joel Heyman, and Luke McKay. And I'm friends with all of them on Facebook because they're my friends, but they will accept, I think, any friend request.
Yeah.
So all of my friend requests that I have to decline from friends of friends, it's all from those 3
You
guys.
are a hypocrite.
Why?
Because you did the exact same thing. And when someone else bitched about that to you, you were like, who cares? It's Facebook.
No, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
That's not true at all.
absolutely true.
That's not true.
You've always done that.
I have never done
Gus, do you have a memory?
I think you're thinking of me. I used to do that, and I don't do that anymore.
Easy mistake to make.
that. Remember,
pretty
Gavin,
sure it
I
was
didn't
you.
have a Facebook account until like 2 years ago even. Ben made me a Facebook account because, what's that?
Yeah, it was me.
Barbara's
Yeah,
off,
it was
off screen
back then.
saying
I wouldn't
it
call
was Gus.
I changed.
Thank you,
I
Barbara.
changed my stance on that.
All right, I take it back. I apologize.
I am a hypocrite, though. You can call me one. It's fine. I'll take it.
There was a girl I was talking to, and I was
Jesus, every story starts with, there was this girl.
Was she a Disney princess or not?
I was talking to this
No.
girl. We had just broken up, and we were
I
talking
was
about
dismissing this girl.
Well, I was
ending our
following her on
tenure.
Twitter, and all of her tweets are just really dumb, and she had like thousands and thousands of tweets. So I was just like, I just unfollowed her, and she noticed, and I was like, I don't know why she would be checking, but she like called me out on it. I was like, yeah, you're just making dumb
Dude,
tweets.
there's people in this company who notice when you don't unfollow them. It's easier just to keep following them.
Can you hide? Like, can you mute somebody on Twitter?
You can totally do it now. It used to be a feature that was in Tweetbot.
Oh, you can do that on the actual Twitter.
They have integrated it into Twitter.
How the crap
now
do you do
that you
that?
can actually.
I don't know. I use
I'm gonna look
Tweetbot.
into
It's
that.
easy in Tweetbot.
Bot.
I think Tweetbot's owned by Twitter now too.
Is it?
They pretty
they
much-
bought
They pretty much
Someone.
bought everything at this point.
Tweety.
Tweetbot's great. So speaking of Disney princesses, which I brought up, you went to
You have the
Disney.
worst segues ever, Gus. I love all your bad segues. Speaking of the thing that I brought up
Speaking of the
before,
thing I brought up, what the fuck is the deal with the Disney princesses?
So Brandon and I were there for a business trip, and we were in Orlando.
What business?
Rooster Teeth business.
Tinder business.
he was
Tinder
doing a
business.
TV commercial.
So yeah, we were out there, and we decided to make a run on all the theme parks. So we went to Disney Studios or Universal, and then we went to Disney World.
Solid
By
last
the
day.
way, I've been on these types of business trips before.
Yeah.
I've never had the opportunity to do any of this shit. The only free time I've ever had was I had about 90 minutes one time, and we went and filmed a short in Disney World, that roller coaster one. We've never had any
And you
fucking
literally
free
went
time.
into the park, went to the roller coaster, rode it like 2 or 3 times to
And
get
then
the shot,
ran
and
to
then
the
gone.
airport.
Yeah.
That's all the free time I've had in years of doing this.
Which is a pain in the ass because all of my significant others in my life, no matter what stage of life it's been, they always talk about all these trips I get to take, and it's like I see an airport, a taxi, and then a convention center,
Yeah.
and then a taxi and an airport, and I'm back.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah. So I don't know what kind of fucking trip you guys were on. You got to go to all of the theme parks.
Yeah, we did. We set aside time though, so we could film a recap because we knew we were going to film a recap.
Because he was late.
I went to
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
I went to Dubai and I didn't even see daylight. Like I was in and did the shoot and then went out and it was dark the entire time.
Here's the other thing too, is that people always take like girls trips or whatever. You know, the girls like to go on girls trips and they're like, oh, I want to go with my friends and go to Vegas or whatever, and they go on girls trips. It's like I don't ever go on guy trips because all my friends I work with, the last thing that I would ever do in 1,000 years is go somewhere with Gus or Matt. I'm like gonna like get in a plane and go somewhere. Gus, where would we go together for fun, me and you?
Vegas.
We went one time. When was that?
10 years ago.
You went for fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
I could not imagine. I
was
made Gus
maybe
go to
11.
Vegas because it was the whole thing about Gus wouldn't go to Vegas and he jumped out
I
of the
wouldn't go
van.
to Vegas one time.
No, I know, but that was the whole thing. So I finally said, "You will love Vegas," and was I right?
No, you're right. But I just want to make sure people understand, because people don't understand this story. It's not that I hated Vegas and didn't want to go to Vegas. I didn't want to go to Vegas at that one particular time. People, when they hear the story, they're like, oh, why do you hate Vegas? Why did you hate Vegas? Why didn't you want to go to Vegas? I was tired. I had my contacts in. I just want to go to my fucking hotel and sleep. I didn't want to go to Vegas.
What's contacts got to do with it?
Because they were itching. I wanted to get them out of my fucking eyes.
Here's one thing I've learned. You can never dredge up an old story and defend yourself. That never works. It's totally fruitless to try to do that. Totally fruitless.
I read that if you leave your contacts in too long, your eyes get eaten.
That was what was happening to me. My eyes were being chewed on. They were like appetizers.
They will adhere to your eyeballs. It's gross.
LASIK, that's a thing.
I have LASIK, yeah.
Yeah. How does that process? I heard that you're like awake for the whole thing.
So when they do it, what they do is they put a ring on your eye.
Don't put a picture of this up.
Yeah, don't put a picture
No.
up. And then there's like a pressure. They press on your eye so hard that you can't see out of that anymore. Like your vision all goes black. I think mainly because they're bending your eye, that the shape of it, like the light
stops working.
Yeah, it stops working basically. Then the hard part about LASIK, then this is gonna be gross. The hard part about LASIK is not like the laser. It's not the beam coming down right at your eye and that little thing they put that close to your eye. The hardest part about LASIK, which they don't put in any of the literature, is that it's a laser carving your eye, so you get to smell what your eye smells like as it's burning.
Does it smell delicious?
It's a
Does it make you
very
hungry?
distinct smell. It's a very distinct smell.
Would you eat that smell? If you're walking by a restaurant, you smell that smell.
I would absolutely not eat cooked eyeball, laser cooked
not
eyeball.
knowing now, but before.
No, you wouldn't do that. If you smelled that smell on a plane, the plane's about to go down.
Okay.
Like it's like this horrible copper plastic smelling fire. It's just disgusting.
Delicious.
lovely.
It's really disgusting.
I bet they just pump that smell into the room to mess with you.
To let you know, it's like for natural gas. They add the smell
you can't smell
to
it.
warn you. In case you're not aware, your eyes are burning. Now you'll know.
One
when
time
it's
you and I
happening.
were flying back from Orlando, I think. I don't know what we were doing out there. Must have been a trip of some kind. And
place.
I was convinced the plane was catching fire. I don't know if you remember this.
Oh yeah.
Like we had taken off. We had started reaching cruising altitude. Then all of a sudden, all the air conditioners, instead of blowing cold air, just started blowing hot air.
Yep.
Like super hot, like ow, 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 like turn it off. And then it started smelling like melting plastic all in the cabin. I said, I turned to Burnie and go, should we be worried? What's going on?
Maybe somebody was getting LASIK
and it was
surgery.
like 10 minutes of just like blasting furnace hair. Like, there's a fire in this plane. We were getting like flames shot at us. And then no comment. And the flight crew didn't say anything. Then all of a sudden it started blowing cold again. I was like, what the fuck was that?
Damn.
Yeah, the scariest thing was whenever you're on a flight and something happens and the flight crew reacts to it. Then you know you have a problem. They're like, what the fuck was that? Like a thump or something like that? You ever see a stewardess like have this look on her face? Or a flight attendant, I should say?
not a good face.
Watch the fuck out. You got a problem on your hands.
Have you ever had that?
No, I had a friend who was on a plane that the flight attendant started crying, started bawling.
Was it
And
the
she
one that the plane decompressed and?
No. It was they tried to land in St. Louis, which I don't know who the fuck ever puts a hub airport in St. Louis. That was TWA, or in Chicago. What is the logic?
In St. Louis, do you have to fly through the arch?
It's like the biggest croquet game ever. But they have so many storms in the Midwest. It's like you're just gonna have delays. Like if I ever have a plane that goes through O'Hare Airport, I'm gonna
it's
have a
always
delay almost every single time.
I've been delayed there multiple times.
Anyway, the pilot saw a hole in the storm and decided to try to get through it. And there was so much turbulence, which I actually kind of like turbulence. I was on a plane.
You like it because there's something to do, right?
Yeah, it's just like it's different. You know what I mean? And I don't mind it. Like that. Like I was wondering how far does a plane have to drop for me to get that stomach feeling of like.
I bet it's not far.
I don't know, man. Because I mean, I can like jump off a diving board and I don't get that stomach feeling.
But you're expecting that.
Is that what
it's
it
like
is?
if you were just sitting there and then like your chair dropped a foot out from under you, you'd feel that.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I'm expecting it at the top of a roller coaster and I feel it.
Right, but you're not expecting it in a plane. Well,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
but it's more of a drop on the roller
I think it might
coaster.
be a bigger distance that drop than what you think.
I don't think it's very big.
Anyway, the pilot, there was a big storm in the Midwest. They were landing in St. Louis. They tried to go through a hole in the storm. That didn't work out. There was so much turbulence, all the overhead bins opened and dumped all the luggage into the aisle. That's how bad the turbulence was.
Final destination.
And there was
shit.
like one of the flight attendants was on the thing going, everybody's taking, like literally like panicked herself. Yeah, it was pretty bad. It was pretty
So
bad.
it's a dumb pilot.
Yeah. That was the thing about the guy saying goodbye to his kids. That was that flight. That was that flight. Yeah. I'll tell you what, another to tie all these flights together, the flight that I took to Scotland when I was coming back and I had my personal accident, which we don't need to go over in detail. The flight out was literally the day after I had LASIK. I was so busy at that point in my life, I had to go to Scotland, but I wanted to get LASIK done. And so I had LASIK, and then the next day got on an international flight after my first 24-hour checkup, and I was still, for 10 days, had to do antibiotic drops in my eyes because I had my eyes sliced open. I got on an international flight to another country.
Just like 200 people's germs flying straight into your eyes.
And you weren't concerned about like the pressure differential, like making your eye explode
All
or
those things
something?
I thought about, and I just didn't. I was like, fuck it, I gotta go.
Were you wearing like cool blue blockers and the big orange glasses?
That was only the first day. Those big, like,
awesome.
like you ride on a scooter while wearing those like Terminator-style glasses.
Well, our flight to Orlando, I was sick before, like the day of. So when we were up in the air, just the altitude, like my head was just fluid. Like I couldn't hear anything. And Brandon was like, you were breaking because I was just like leaking fluid. It was disgusting.
Oh, if you get on a plane with allergies, it's the worst.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, if you have like any type of head cold or congestion, it's awful.
Yeah, I didn't.
So I want to get back. So we derailed from the Disney princess story.
Yeah. So we had been posting pictures. It was funny because I got onto Facebook like after the trip, and it said like Brandon Farmahini has tagged you in 30 photos. And I was like, well, all my high school friends think that Brandon and I are like boyfriends now. But yeah, so we decided to.
You'd be very lucky to be with Brandon.
He's
a
yeah,
catch.
he's a great guy.
catch.
So we decided to go to Disney World, and I wanted to do something. The whole
Disney
weekend,
World.
we had been posting pictures of just what we were doing, and it was just getting kind of boring. So I was like, I should do something that's a little bit more funny. So that night, I went to Walmart and I bought a fake ring, and I was like, I'm going to propose to all my favorite Disney
fake ring.
princesses.
Yeah.
A fake. It wasn't a real diamond.
I gotcha.
No, I see what you're saying. But yeah, so
Wow, you got them all. Look at that. Holy shit.
Oh, there's the pictures. Yeah, so I decided to go. Man, Ariel was hot. She was really cool. My hope was that when I tweeted it, since, you know,
So we're showing a picture of Blaine proposing to Ariel from Little Mermaid. Is that
Cinderella, Rapunzel.
and Rapunzel?
So Ariel, you would have swiped right.
Yes,
And then
absolutely.
Tinkerbell.
That was Tinkerbell. She was sweet.
Swipe left.
You don't need to go over detail your judgment of all these women. You can just tell us what happened.
So your hope was.
My hope was that when I tweeted the photos, I was just really hoping for Ariel that I would hear back, because Rooster Teeth's network is
my
so
God.
huge that somebody had to know somebody. Sure enough, I found a guy who tweeted me who said he went to high school with Cinderella. Cinderella was kind of a bitch. And then and then I had a Disney employee who was a
unnecessary.
Rooster Teeth fan who said that she found Ariel and she was going to give her my Twitter handle, but nothing is.
Why not your Tinder?
Because
Maybe she swiped left on you.
Are you on Tinder, Gus?
No, fuck no. I'm
married.
married. I'm not 22.
His marriage predates Tinder.
You fucking kids. I'm gonna sound like an old man now. Fucking Tinder. God damn, man.
I got on Tinder because I was looking for Disney princesses, and Brandon was fucking furious because we were at dinner, and I was just we were at dinner.
Swipe left if you enjoy your meal.
It was a match. Yeah, so I was just on Tinder the entire time. Look,
He's on Tinder constantly.
I found
if you
3
ever,
Disney princesses on Tinder.
ever go anywhere with Blake, there's just people dressed up as Disney princesses.
Why do you want to
maybe.
bang at someone who's the kids' cartoon?
Because
like, what's attractive about
It's like
it?
the prestige of it. It's like a Disney.
Is that what it is?
They get interviewed based
you
on
bang
looks
Gaston?
and personality. Gaston was fucking hilarious. That guy railed on me.
I can't see why.
Those muscles, fake, padded. But he was still a really cool guy.
But
What about
he was still a
Gaston's? Are they
cool
fake?
guy.
This is a good one. No, Gaston he was pretty cool. I think I made him break character for like a split second when I proposed to him. I told him what I was doing,
proposed to him too.
and he laughed a little bit. He broke character.
So did anyone say yes?
I didn't really ask.
Should we explain to people who the fuck Blaine is?
Yeah, who are you, Blaine?
Everyone knows who Blaine is.
So Blaine,
just
how long,
wanted
how
to
long have you worked here?
This is actually, I think, a year ago. I was just starting interning. Mm-hmm. I was working on the Scion shoot at the old office.
The one that had the desk. Chris has a desk in the Scion.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. When Michael's in that one too.
So I interned for a semester, and then I part-time, and then I graduated.
So he's been our intern. Like you've been on the green screen on the Rooster Teeth Podcast a couple times. Like your first day here, I made you get on green screen because I said you were too good looking to work at this
that
company.
was awesome.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah, and so Blaine was at the first RTX, or not the first one, the second year RTX. He came as a attendee.
Right.
Then the second year you were Guardian. Your second year you were Guardian,
Barbara's
and then
assistant.
this year you went as a staff member. You put that up on Twitter.
That was an awesome photo you
Yeah, it
tweeted.
was-
Just
yeah,
all three of them
really,
in a
really
row.
cool.
I had been planning on that because like when I thought that I had a chance of getting a staff badge, I was really excited about it because it's cool. It's like Pokemon, It's like I'm a Blastoise now. Started out as a Squirtle.
You evolved.
Swipe right.
Yeah, swipe right. And so we got the start of Tinder here. Barbara makes him her personal guardian. We each of us have someone that like kind of follows us around to make sure we get from place to place. And they're basically like, they have to kind of play heavy. Barbara, of course, picks Blaine. I got a 17-year-old Boy Scout who's a state champion of Pokemon. That's not a joke, by the way. That's who I got assigned to me. I know. I love Len. He's awesome. But there's a slight difference there, Barbara, in selecting each other's guardians.
That felt so bad for Lynn. Because it's like every time I saw him, he was just freaking out. Because he couldn't find you. You were ditching him intentionally, I'm pretty sure. At one point,
I don't like all this. I don't like all the. There's a lot of like
The glitz.
ceremony that comes with the guardians around us. It's like I just walk the floor. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
And I don't need to give. I know when I need to get from place to place. I get myself there. Marcy was awesome this year, and Len was awesome too. But I warned Marcy beforehand. I said I'm just gonna like walk out on the floor, and it's gonna be a big hassle. But don't worry about it. It's like I've been doing this for 12 years.
how was you guys at RTX? I had a great time.
It was a fucking blast, man.
That was really surreal. Just meeting everybody, it was really cool.
Yeah, did you propose to anybody at RTX?
No.
No positive
So what
swipes.
happened to the
Next
ring?
year. So Tinkerbell was the last one. She's technically, everybody was like, yeah, Tinkerbell's not a Disney princess. I don't give a shit. She's on like Disney's logo.
Who the fuck's telling you that?
People on Twitter. So anyways, she was really sweet. She was super nice. And I was like,
Came
you know
with
what,
the
you're
sweetness.
it was like at the end of the day, we're fixing to leave the park. And I was like, you know what, you're my last Disney princess. You can just have the ring. And then her photographer just went crazy and started having us do like proposal photos. So he was like having her put her hand on my chest and we're doing all this stuff. And she was really cool.
Were you starting to get worried that it might be real? And
Yeah, I was like, I gotta go. But no, she was really nice. It was fun. So I give it to her. Tinkerbell.
So, and these, by the way, these Disney princesses that work at the park, they are consummate professionals. That's a good gig.
Yeah.
Like there was a video I saw online of the main character from Brave. Is her name Merida? Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Merida?
Couldn't find her.
And dude, she was fucking amazing. She looked like the cartoon come to life, and she had the accent perfect. I mean, she was amazing. And the guy was interviewing her with the camera for like 2 minutes. She did not break character at all. Like he was just like asking her like random questions and stuff. Like even like asking her about her job, and she like totally deflected the question.
they must have to have such a clean reputation. Like they must the background search for those jobs must be insane.
Yeah, thank
For,
God
like-
we got Blaine on here going, yeah, she's kind of a bitch. This one's kind of
Okay, all right. So Jasmine was there with Aladdin.
All right, we don't need to call out people by their princess
They
names.
were all very nice and pretty. They didn't break character, but their characters were assholes because they're like, I already have a Prince Charming. It's like, just take the photo. You know?
No, she's being faithful. What the fuck?
I don't know.
She didn't go through that whole thing with the fucking Jafar guy to fucking deal with you with your too small t-shirts with no sleeves.
And your fake ring.
Yeah, she's got a fucking castle.
What if you
and
were
a
doing
magic
your job?
carpet.
What if you were doing your job and someone was like, "Just take the photo with me"? You'd be like, "I'm working." But you'd be pissed
That's a good
off.
point. Hey, there she is. Hey, changing subjects. That was a good photo.
You swipe left on that.
My arm looks fucking huge in that.
God.
She was a sweetheart.
So that's the other thing about Blaine. Blaine works out like, what, 4 or 5 hours a day?
4 or 5 or 6 times a week, hour and a half a day.
Hour and a half a day, 6 times a week. Do you know how many days are in a week?
So not every day.
Yeah,
6 days a
You gotta
week.
get a break in there.
So what do you do while you're working out?
Oh, you listen to music.
That's just like music
Yeah,
time.
you're in the zone.
Fair play.
I could not listen to music. I could not sit and listen to music for an hour and a half a day.
Well, I'm not
much less
sitting. I'm lifting.
Yeah,
heavy,
yeah,
I'm,
much
I'm
less
raising and
doing
lowering heavy
anything
objects.
else.
Do you want to come to the gym with me? I got Miles, I got Carrie, I got Ellis, all to go.
I would only go to a gym if it was just me in there.
Everyone's
Yeah.
telling me I pronounce the Disney princess name like the Spanish word for shit. Mierda.
Mierda.
So I get it. I know. I don't know how to pronounce her name. How do you say it? Merida?
I say Merida.
I just call her shitty.
The shitty princess.
She's from that shitty Pixar
The
movie.
Scottish shitty princess. You know the one.
Scotty shitty.
Thank God Blaine didn't meet her and give you a breakdown of her personality and everything else.
She was sweet.
Yeah. She smelled like soup.
I swiped right. Here,
One
I'm
of her
gonna-
eyes was
I'm,
kind of like.
I'm going to read this thing. I want to remind everyone this episode of Rooster Teeth Podcast is brought to you by. There are so many domain names now.
What do you mean, like domain?
Like top level domain names like .com, .net, like all that shit.
Yeah. Did they ever make? I think I'm about 90% certain that Blaine was on Tinder during your ad read. He literally just set his phone back down. What were you doing on there?
Okay, so there's this new app. It's called Unseen, and basically, it's a bunch of Aggies made it, and you can anonymously post photographs.
What's an Aggie?
Texas A&M.
There you go.
It's our opposing school, but whatever.
Let's not give him that much credit, but okay.
Yeah. So, all right, they made this app where you can anonymously post photographs. So they went in with the intention, I'm sure, like, oh, you could post funny photos, you could do stuff. Like, you connect by school, so you can go to UTs, you can go to A&Ms. It is nothing but boobs and butts. So it's kind of the greatest thing.
And that's what you're doing during the ad read.
So during the ad read, I'm reading about domain names and you're looking at boobs and butts?
Do you need to go and jerk off or something?
It's sometimes they
We'll
post
wait.
funny things. It's, you never know. Sometimes they'll do like a social justice thing. So if a person parks like an asshole, they'll put a photo of that and they'll put the location.
So that's what you're looking for.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So you're like parking police.
Yeah, I'm going to go.
Dude, I don't even want to tell you the way my brain filled that in because you were talking about parking domain names, and then he said parking like an asshole, and I was like, somebody parked their ass there.
So have you?
.asshole is
You know
not
what,
an
when
available
people,
domain
I
name.
hate when people do all that like passive aggressive shit with parking. I hate that.
Are,
Like,
you
they
an
take
are you an asshole Parker?
No, I don't think. Listen, I have a
Clearly
problem.
are.
No. I'm not an asshole parker intentionally, but I'm a shitty parker in that I drive a truck and I drive a sedan. And the sedan actually, I end up parking wrong because the front end of my truck is cut off.
Yeah.
And I'm so used to parking the truck that I always end up going over the space. Like, that's not something people ever
that's
stop
not terrible.
Stop you about. I always go over that line a little bit.
It's like
in
the
in
sidelines are
front.
worse.
Sidelines are the worst.
Yeah.
Did you say sedan because you don't want people to know you have a Tesla?
I
or-
just I got on Gavin today, so stop mentioning Tesla on the fucking podcast.
It's a cool car to have. Why
It's a
wouldn't you
nice
talk
ride.
about it?
We had fun today.
Yeah.
Gavin and I went down to Google today, and we had a meeting at
First
Google.
time I've been to Google in Austin.
I've never been to the Austin Google thing.
They're right by. I used to live in an apartment. I don't know if you ever went there. I used to live in that apartment complex, like right next to the Google office.
He's getting too excited. Don't say whatever you're going to say.
What?
Because we're not talking about why we went to Google yet. So, but we went to Google.
I wasn't going to.
You got too excited.
I was going to say, hey, who else have you let drive your car? You let me drive your car once. Was
I
shitting
will
my
let
pants.
whoever listen. I freely embrace the fact that when you own a Tesla, you also become like this weird like marketing person for it. And I fully recognize that I'm also a fucking beta tester. But so I let whoever drive it. I don't care
I think you're an alpha tester.
if people want to drive it. No, the Alpha one was their Roadster. That thing was
yeah.
like a roller skate. That you didn't get into it. You like put it on and then you rode away. It looked good in pictures, but it was really very low in a tiny little car.
Yeah.
I saw a funny tweet here from Casting for Two. I had the chance to meet Blaine at RTX, and he was a tool to me, but nice to the hot chick next to me.
Wow.
Who is that Aaron? Is that Aaron
That's so
Schwartz? What's his
believable.
name?
Casting for Two.
No.
I'm
no.
gonna follow him.
That's a lie. I was so nice to everybody.
Casting for two.
Although there was this one
TWO.
kid who I was in a rush to go film something, and he was like, "Hey, can I get a picture with you?" And I was like, "Yes, you'll catch me later in the day. I promise I will be back." And he tweeted me, and he was like, "I'm heading to the airport, Blaine.
Fucking
Where are
retweet.
you?"
Gotta retweet there.
And he was just like giving me so much shit. I felt so bad for that kid. I can't remember his name.
You're a fucking liar. You told him you'd be back, and you weren't.
I know. I
weren't.
feel like a dick.
I pulled a dick move. At
Yeah,
RTX.
you. The kid's mom couldn't take the photo.
His mom, he kept trying to take a picture with me, but his mom kept calling and interrupting the camera app. And eventually, it would happen like 3 times. And I did have to go, but I left without taking the picture because I thought it would make a better story. And I freely admit that was probably one of the worst things I've ever done.
That's funny though.
And if everybody knows who that guy is, I will. Well, I won't do anything because then people will either say they're him. But
Well, imagine what that kid feels like. Like, he could have either gotten just a generic photo with you, or
now-
he has that funny story and he's been mentioned on the
Yeah,
podcast
now he's a
twice.
part of the story.
Yeah.
yeah, and it might be an RTAA. You never know.
Yeah.
So we don't know what that guy looks like.
Jordan.
But Jordan actually did go out and get the likeness of the guy that I threw out of the Bethesda party at PAX. Where was that? PAX East?
PAX East.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
When I got drunk and I got so drunk I started like asking other people to leave the Bethesda party, which was one of the worst things I've ever done. I mean, that's horrible to do. But there was a guy who was a fan, and when I walked up to him, he came and apologized to me at the booth the next day. He was like, "I was clearly very drunk and I want to apologize."
Oh,
I was like,
Christ.
"No, dude, I'm really sorry. I was doing it to be funny, and they caught me doing it."
He was really drunk then if he thought he was actually
Yeah.
getting reprimanded.
So the guy who's in the RTA that I threw out, like he's got a goatee and all that, that's actually based on the guy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
Good job,
I love how amazingly accurate the animated adventures are.
Yeah.
They're really awesome.
For stick
Jordan,
figures.
by the way, just hit his 4th year of animating.
Yeah, that's crazy.
What's crazy to me is Achievement Hunter just hit 6 years today. So Achievement Hunter is basically half as old as the company. We went 6 years of the company before starting Achievement Hunter. And then Gavin's only been part of Achievement Hunter for 2.5 years. I mean, officially,
yeah.
here.
I made some videos back in the day, but that was on occasional visits.
But if you ask me, would you date Achievement Hunter just off the top of your head as being older than RTAs?
Yeah,
Or-
yeah, because I remember when we started Achievement Hunter, I was also in San Diego, oddly enough, right around the same time, I guess. Yeah, that's weird. But I remember that being first, because I remember being in San Diego when we decided to launch it. Ben and I were both in San Diego together. Like, oh, great. The 2 people who can work on the website are not in Austin when we're launching this whole new domain.
Yeah, you remember all the stuff we did? We did a RVB PSA to announce it, and then we did that fucking bet that I lost.
Oh yeah.
Where
much
Jeff tried to get 10,000 gamer score in a week.
He almost died doing it though.
I lost
He looked rough at the end of that.
$1,000 to him.
$1,000.
He still hasn't paid me back for the first bet.
Oh, go collect your debts. One of my favorite
Yeah, good luck with that.
RT lives or I don't know what it was, but you were on a Tony Hawk board and you just ate shit. It was fucking funny.
Fucking Jack shot that.
Jack's laugh in that is my favorite laugh of all time because he's holding the camera and it's just like that raspy throat laugh. He's like,
He was so happy about it.
and then
You
just hear,
could see that coming from a fucking mile away.
And I had skateboarded in high school,
you
too.
ate knobs, and I've been in the room when you've fallen down before. For some reason, you used to fall a lot. I'm not talking about the Leicester thing now, but like I would be in the office with you.
It has happened a lot.
Sometimes it would just be me and you in the old Congress office, which is an upstairs office. So when you hit the floor, it'd be like, "Gung." I would just hear you thud in the other room.
Listen, that office building that we were in, I don't even call it an office building on Congress.
That shitty building.
That thing was fucking rickety as shit.
Yeah.
Like, you could stand in the center of our studio and just, like, bounce.
Oh,
like,
here's
There it
a
is.
clip.
There it is.
Here's a clip.
Way to go, Patrick.
No, son of a bitch. Thanks, Patrick.
It's just smug.
Hey, let's look at the bright side.
There's me
You've
and
lost a
Joel.
lot of weight since then. Ate shit.
Man, that's shaking because he's laughing so hard. I really thought I broke my arm. My brother broke his arm by doing that in his bedroom. It's the only bone we ever broke in our. Well, I broke my leg. My last. I just want your style of story. I had a girlfriend I was dating.
Okay.
She was so hot. She was on the dance team, and I had another girlfriend who broke up. And the dance team chicks were always hot. I thought the dance team chicks were always hotter than the
Yeah, but dancing
cheerleaders.
is so stupid. Dancing is the dumbest thing.
Somebody got denied from the dance
Let's
team.
be honest
He
here.
tried out and he did not make the cut.
Like, you see TV shows like So You
bitter.
Think You Can Dance and Dancing with the Stars? It's all fucking horse shit.
Yeah, well, so is this podcast. It's just a bunch of people talking on the
Yeah, this
internet.
is way funnier than someone who can dance. So you think you can dance? Let's find out.
Everybody on that show is hot, though. Everybody.
I'm not denying that. I'm not saying dancing is stupid. I'm not saying
You've
fucking
danced
dancers
before,
aren't
though.
hot.
What's your go-to move?
Probably
Is it
not.
the robot?
I don't dance.
It's
My
the
go-to
robot,
move is
isn't
go
it?
get a fucking drink.
Everyone has tried to dance once.
No, bullshit.
Have you never been at a party where all your friends were giving it some and you were just like,
You think I give a fuck if people are dancing? Do you know me?
I bet
Have you
danced
ever
before.
danced?
No.
Ever?
Fuck
It's
no.
impossible. Everyone's done it.
Fuck no.
Even Gavin dances, and I would not label you as a dancer. Gavin dances
Dude,
all the time.
give me a few drinks. I will go for it.
He has a good time.
I'll slide on my knees. I'll spin on my ass.
He's not like fucking Monty. Monty's like tears that shit
Oh
up.
yeah, well Monty has actual skill moves.
Yeah. Well, I was dating this girl. I had a girlfriend before. I broke up with this girl. We all went to prom, and then like the whole group of people, like everybody went with their prom date. But then we went down to Galveston, which is a beach community right outside of Houston. And what part of the world you're from?
Dallas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By way of Oklahoma. But we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah, I moved in when I was 6. I consider myself a Texan.
It sticks.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we went down to Galveston. I met this girl there. Then, so we're like in the last 2 weeks between prom and the end of school. We're all seniors, right? And she was a very pretty girl, very nice girl, nice family. So at the end of school, her church had a lock-in, so she had to go to this lock-in. And so I was like, oh, I don't get to see you on Saturday night. That's too bad. So what do I do when my nice, pretty girlfriend goes to a church lock-in? I decide to go to a fucking party. And it was at this people's house that was off of a man-made lake. And then we all got drunk and ran down the hill and I jumped in the lake. And I fucking landed on an 8-foot diameter pipe that was this far below the water. They said I looked like I bounced off the water when I jumped in. So I broke my leg doing that. The one thing they always tell you with water, don't ever fucking jump into water. And I knew it.
That's the one thing they say about water. Yeah.
Listen, you can drink it, you can swim in it, just don't fucking jump in it.
Drown in it all
Don't
day,
jump
but
in
don't
water that
jump
you
in
can't
it.
see. And listen, that's scary advice. If I'd have dove in, I wouldn't be here. I'd be dead for sure. But as it was, I broke my leg.
Did it go gung?
But then the story changed. There was a hot tub at the party, and the story changed over time. Oh, because it was over the course of a weekend that I broke my leg falling in a hot tub. Which is totally not true. But you could do that. I've stepped into a hot tub before, and so they're always deeper than you think. Anyway, my girlfriend broke up with me because I went to this. You can't explain away a fucking broken leg.
No.
You gotta tell them,
Just say you tripped.
So,
Yeah, but then
Wow.
everybody was at the party. I was the guy at the
Trips.
party who broke his leg, Gavin. And it was like, hey, Burns broke his leg a week before graduation. I had to like hobble across the stage like that for my graduation.
so someone is pointing out that I have danced. On Twitter, Cal Fontaine says that I danced in the Frag Dude short.
I got the
Oh,
same
and you
text
fucking-
from Barbara.
Badass job.
That was great.
There
That
was just
great
many
work.
takes that were edited together to look like it was good.
was
We
thinking-
probably shot 2 hours of dance for like a minute worth
Why?
of it.
How is that an efficient ratio of shooting.
That's about as good as it gets.
The best part of that is the Taco Bell wrapper just slaps on your face and stays. How did it do that?
Fucking Nathan did that. Like, we were trying it, and then Nathan was like, here, I think I can do it. And his fucking first try, he got in front of the fan and was like, just adjusted it and let go. Boom, right in the
I
face.
still haven't met Nathan, which I'm really bummed about. Is he
You
ever
never met
come
Nathan?
No,
Nathan
he
was
seems
the
so
bomb.
cool.
He was here a couple
Nathan
weeks
was here
ago.
like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
He came by. It was he's really busy because he's got that film Kimiko, and he's touring all over with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, he comes by. He's busy, working in films with his brother. Sorry, Alan keeps texting.
I need to meet him. He sounds like a nice guy.
All right.
Yeah, I'm sure Alan doesn't know we're doing the fucking podcast right now.
Sorry, Alan.
How is Mohammed?
Notice Alan didn't interrupt an ad read. I should do a game time with Alan. That should be one of I'm in my laser team game times right now.
So yeah, we started the laser team stretch goal for the podcast Let's Play. So we released the
Podcast
first
Let's
one
Plays.
this past weekend.
And actually, Blaine and I are working on the Rooster Teeth office shorts. So all those things are in full effect. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, we released the Last of Us podcast Let's Play this past Saturday, and we'll release
I'm so glad we got to play Last of Us.
another one this Saturday.
And there's a game we played today that I have been trying to convince the Achievement Hunter guys to play for like 2 months now. I love this game, and I've been trying to convince them, and they keep telling me they played it once and they just didn't like it. The Achievement Hunter guys work on a lot of stuff that they don't release. They like...
There's a lot of Let's Plays where I'm not in them, and they don't come out. So everyone's always wanting to see these Let's Plays, like the Magic the Gathering Let's Play and the one we did today. And I wasn't in them, so I don't even get to see them. Like, what could have been so bad about it?
I mean, I get it. If you don't know what you're doing, like... anyway, I know what you're doing, but we played it today, and I thought it worked out really good. I can't wait for that one to come out.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm just happy that I have a group of people to play that game with, because that is a fucking great co-op game.
Yeah, we
you
set
wanna
up a
play that for
little.
real?
We set up a little environment for our podcast Let's Plays over in the
we
bungalow.
were like... We're like going old school. We're literally like in a square little closet where we're all like right on top of
It
each
is
other.
literally a closet.
Yeah.
And we had to turn off the air conditioner because it was loud as shit.
That's the loudest AC I've ever
Did
seen.
you have chairs? Did you blow out your asshole, Gus?
No, we had Jesus.
That's my favorite
We
story.
had chairs. I did not get a hemorrhoid again.
Well, that's my first recollection of Gus. Is he's the guy at work who came in and
Blew
had
out
to go
his
home, and I was his manager, and I said, "Why?" And he goes, "Because I have a hemorrhoid. I was playing video games." I was like, "I don't want to hear this. Just go home. Just go home."
I like that in Blaine's head, it's like...
You prolapsed.
Yeah, it wasn't really like that. It was like, I don't know, like the next morning, just wake up, you're like, oh, it's kind of, my butthole's kind of sore. That's kind of weird. Like, it wasn't like that when I went to sleep.
I knew Blaine. I knew Blaine was a different kind of employee the moment he started working here. When I first met him, I said that to him. I literally told you, and I wasn't gonna let him off the hook. I told him, "You're just too good looking to work here. You can't work here very long." And I think he took me totally seriously because he was like, "What the fuck?" And then I immediately wrote that short that we put you in with. You had no shirt on.
Oh, yeah.
Immediately, it's the first thing we did. And then I don't know if you remember this, Gus. There was one time when we were like 30 seconds from starting the podcast. And Blaine ripped the nastiest fart. Like he stood right there with his headset on, and he ripped this horrible fart. And it was one of those locker room moments where Blaine thought it was funny, and everybody goes, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" And he's like, "Oh, is that not okay?" I can see his world crashing. It's like his bro world is like falling apart in front of him.
That was always been so acceptable in my life. But I remember we were thinking of the name for the no, and we're just all sitting around in silence, like trying to come up with a name. And then I was like, hey, I've got a name. And then I shit. And Gus was like 3 feet from me.
I was on a beanbag.
And
I was like at ass level.
Everybody just like got up.
He cleared the room.
It was like, that's it. That's enough brainstorming. I forgot about that. I don't like Blaine. What's he doing on the podcast?
And what have you been working on lately? Because last time, and then I put you in that game time, like your first week. Mm-hmm. I thought that was interesting because I've been talking to people like Gavo and Ray, and they're guys that have been with us for 2 years. And I thought, here's this guy who just started with us. I had a feeling you were going to be with us for a while. And you'd already been an intern, for a few months, and then we'd hired you full time. And I said, let's talk to somebody on their first week here. And then, so if you've heard from Blaine since then, it's probably from that game time. Or what else have you been in since then?
I mean, it's just mostly recap, and I think I will be in that upcoming short series that we announced at RTX, iBlade.
Right.
Which is going to be so much fun. But yeah, it's pretty much that in the recap. I'm doing a recap. Can I talk about that recap that I approached you about? I mean, I'm not spoiling.
It's your show?
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know if it's too soon. Well, I've already talked about it too much. I'm trying to get it together.
Talking about the skydiving one?
A skydiving recap.
I've had to spoil it for you.
For real or indoor?
Outdoor.
Oh, Jesus.
No. I heard the indoor one is
I suggested the indoor one to him because I'd heard of it too. I haven't done it.
Damar said no.
Yeah, Chris said it was just not worth it.
Yeah, so I'm trying to get, and I'm talking to some people right now, and they seem pretty interested in it. And I've approached all the founding members pretty much and said, hey, do you want to do the skydiving? Burnie had a pretty good response to that. Do you want to go? You want to go skydiving?
When is it?
Next Wednesday, hopefully.
I don't know.
Come on.
That means no.
I don't know.
Yeah.
There's some stuff coming up.
Yeah, no, I hear that. So yeah, I'm trying to get that together, and hopefully it'll work out.
I'm not doing it.
I made a huge.
I'm not doing anything before laser team. I'm not worried about dying. I just want to like twist an ankle.
That
or
makes
something
sense.
like that.
No,
I made a huge faux pas once.
lose my girlfriend.
I had this friend who went skydiving a lot, and I went to another mutual friend's party once, like many years ago. I was at this party, and I'm like, "Hey, where's so and so? Bob. Where's Bob? Why isn't he here?" And my friend got really like sad and was like, "Bob died." I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, his chute didn't open. He hit the ground." And then my friend started crying. Like, he was so upset. I was like, oh, he really did die. I thought he was fucking with me. No, the guy I know that was an avid skydiver literally died skydiving.
That sucks so much.
And I'm like, hey, where is he? You didn't hear?
Don't say that. Barbara's standing right there. I'm trying to get her to go, and she's so...
She thought I was fucking with her, and I was like, no, I'm dead serious. Oh, I'm serious.
You know what I gotta say though is like somewhere I don't know when it happened, but they made it mandatory at some point that your first skydiving jump has to be a tandem jump.
First 3, I think.
Is it?
Yeah.
And I just don't want to go through. If I'm gonna jump out of a plane,
You don't want to jump out. You won't do it solo. How will you know what the hell you're doing?
you just pull the
You
fucking
pull a
cord.
fucking cord. How hard is it?
You
Listen,
don't
no.
want to
Well, there's more to it. There's altimeters and all
Everyone who
that.
skydives and watches the podcast is gonna fucking rip us apart, Gus, because we don't know how hard it is.
You're gonna
We
jump
know
out of
it's
a plane.
hard, but the whole thrill is you jump out and do like they don't do tandem in the army. They take 18-year-old guys and fucking chuck them out of a plane.
I'm pretty sure they do tandem at first.
Doo-doo.
They do for the army. They
Right.
run all those dudes. You're telling me everybody in World War II that was in the airborne, they ran them all through a tandem jump first?
Well, so, here's what's
I
going
gotta
to
look this up because I'm always wrong.
You're gonna jump out of a plane, pull the chute immediately, and then you're gonna land like 7
Well, I think
miles from where you want to.
What they do also is when maybe they're training, they have those ones where they jump out and the chute automatically deploys.
yeah, like it gets pulled out by
it
the
just gets
the
pulled
plane.
out, yeah. And they're just like falling in with the
good.
chute on.
Or just like an altimeter that does it. That's what the emergency shoots do, right? Don't they work off an altimeter?
I
Yeah, no,
imagine they would, yeah.
yeah.
That way, if you're like unconscious, it still deploys.
I first took a Shining to. Oh, here's a. Was that a baby? What is this?
What is that?
Oh, is that the one where the plane crashed into the other plane?
I think is this the?
or that's just a tandem?
Is this the guy dying? What are we watching?
Yeah, it's a 96-year-old dude. He was a. I read about this guy on Reddit. He was a World War II airborne veteran, and
like a
he just
baby.
wanted to jump one more
Totally
time.
looks like a baby.
And like he couldn't find anybody that would let him take a dive at his age. And so he went to the internet to try to convince somebody to do it. And this company said, fuck yeah, we'll do it. Get up there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so they took this 96-year-old dude
That is
out.
awesome.
So Barbara's
That's
texting
the
me.
fastest moving 96-year-old I've ever seen.
Barbara's
Fucking
texting me
badass.
screen
That's
caps
so badass.
of her phone of Larry and Steven Dunkelman just being in total support of her going skydiving. They're all. Her dad was like, "No skydiving for you." Steve was like, "Don't do it."
Think of all the puns, though, Barbara.
Yeah, it'd be great.
This guy,
Barbara
who's this?
Dunkelsplat.
On Twitter, Deadfast Pro. I worked at a skydiving place for 5 years, and there was only one fatality.
That's not bad.
That's like my dad said when my dad wanted me to come visit him in Mexico. And I just kept saying, Dad, because he lived in Mexico 6 months out of the year. And I said, Dad, I'm not going to fucking come to Mexico, and I'm not going to bring the kids down there. He goes, what's your problem? I said, well, Dad, I'm concerned. I'm going to bring 2 young kids down to Mexico. I'm worried about kidnapping. He goes, oh, you're full of shit. He goes, I've lived here for 4 years, and I only know one person that's been kidnapped. That's not. I was like to my dad. I said, I know somebody by proxy who's been kidnapped, and I didn't know anybody who's been kidnapped before you told that story.
I only know one person's been kidnapped, and I know 2 people. Great.
And I kidnapped him. Yeah, well, that was like the worst reason to ever go visit Mexico. Although I went to Mexico recently, it was
Nice.
the touristy part of Mexico. No issues at all.
Nice.
People are like overhyped about like all the danger down there.
I heard there's like some parts where it's like a vacation zone where it's like night and day. It's like they have a border and there are armed guards protecting the.
Blaine, there are a lot of places in the world that are that way.
Yeah.
You know, Jamaica's like that.
Really?
You basically like go visit compounds. Basically, is what you're doing. And I can tell you that the resort that we were in down there was a lot like that. I mean, it had big fucking gates, and we went through the gates and we stayed on the resort, and it closed. You know, I think if we go down to the border towns, like Gus and I would go down to Piedras a couple different times. What's it? You're from Eagle Pass and it's Piedras Negras, is right across the way.
Yep.
Or like, if I think the toughest one is Juarez or Laredo. Those are both pretty rough, right?
Yeah, they're pretty rough.
Juarez is across from El Paso.
Yeah.
And I've never been to Tijuana.
Me neither.
That's across from San Diego.
Yeah. I've
Yeah.
never been over there.
Go to
I have no
Tijuana?
interest in
I would
Mexico.
totally go to Mexico again.
Apparently, that used to just be a thing. Like my dad said that he'd just go down to Mexico. Like fuck it, it's like it's a weekend. Let's go
I
down
hate
to
how
Mexico.
fucking young you are. I used to go there in college all the time.
Yeah.
For spring break, we would go to South Padre Island and we would walk across the border and go to Matamoros.
As in walking, like you
We'd
had
walk
border
the bridge.
patrol.
You needed
Okay,
a
okay.
quarter to get back in.
Really?
That's how you got back
No, it
into
was
the
a
U.S.
quarter to go over there. It wasn't like a dime to come back. Well, I've never been down there.
All I know is the federales took all of our fucking money, and I had to beg up quarters from their college students to put
They
it
make
in.
you dance for pennies.
Did I ever tell you that story about the guy who got?
No.
My buddy got caught pissing in an alley by the fucking federales, which are the federal police, and that is like, that's a really bad deal. And we had one guy in our group, his name was Juan, and they stuck our buddy in the back of the police car, and Juan is like, he cannot leave here. We have got to get him out of that car. We don't want him to go to jail because we will not see him again for potentially months. We're like, what the fuck? Okay. So Juan's talking to the federales, Quanto, like how much? Like basically just asking how much can we pay you to get him out of the car?
Yeah.
And the federale says something to Juan, and Juan goes like this, and he looks at me, and I go, what do you say, Juan? And Juan goes, he said, how much do you have? So we had to empty all of our pockets under the hood of the car, and they just took all of our money.
Did you have any wands?
What? We had several wands, but only one wand that we got to leave with. And so we had to walk back to the bridge and then beg up quarters from other people.
Christ.
So that was pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah, my mom got pulled over once by the police in Mexico, and they wanted a bribe. She's like, no. So then they're like, we're gonna have to come to jail with us if you don't give us the bribe. She's like, all right, I'll go with you. Let's go. So she started they started leading her. She started following them in her car. They went like 5 blocks and they stopped and they came back and they're like, listen, just give us your watch. And she's like, no, let's go to the jail. And then they just got back in their car and took off.
Wow.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
That is quality.
It's pretty nuts. It's pretty nuts. But I always had a great time there. In all honesty, a fucking bunch of asshole American kids coming across. I mean, we were a bunch of drunk idiots.
Yeah.
So I mean, I if I was in their situation, I'd give me your fucking money too.
A quarter of the time's not enough.
We were pissing our pants. We were so fucking scared. We all thought we were gonna end up in a Mexican jail. I was never so scared in my life. I don't think.
Kind of
Ever.
in that same vein, I had some friends who were at like a Target or a Walmart parking lot, and they had security, driving in their car, and they turned their lights on, but they realized it was just security. So they just drove around, and then they eventually went to an empty part, and they just started going in circles. So these guys are going in circles, and the security guard just gives up. So then they just start following the security guard's car around because they can't do anything. It's just a security guard.
They can call the police, can't they?
I guess, but they're just like following the security guard around.
I'd love to see a top-down view of that. Just like,
It's like something you'd see in Grand Theft Auto. Where it's like a cop's chasing you and you're just driving in circles.
It's pretty funny.
so what's your favorite thing that you've worked on at Rooster Teeth, do you think?
Oh, iBlade was a lot of fun. Man, that was a long shoot, but that was a lot of fun. And I think Gauntlet was so much fun. I was still an intern, so not that many people knew like who I was within the company. But
Nobody knows now.
yeah, okay. But that's when I did the whole Nintendo DS prank, and that was just
that was-
such a fucking
Fart Hoover?
blast.
Yeah.
And I was also
Oh,
like
what's with farts with you?
I don't know. Yeah, I guess it's just a thing. Fecal philiac. But yeah, no, I was a huge, I've always been a Rooster Teeth fan, but I've also been like a Freddie Wong and Inside Gaming. So like I got to meet, F. Wong and Kovic, and Justine. She was super sweet. So that was a good time.
Swipe left or right on that one?
I'm sure you were impressed in that order. Fucking Freddie Wong, Kovic, and Justine.
I liked Blaine ever since
Greg
we
Miller didn't make the list.
we did a Lads Action News once, and we busted in on the old Annex, and we're like messing around, and we're like, Blaine, take your shirt off, go get it off, and we're like messing around with this thing, and his whole shirt just like popped open because it was all those like snappy little popper things. His whole shirt just goes, and he's like, oh no!
And Michael was just like wrenching at it, and I was like, stop now!
Like we were just pretending, and the whole thing came open. He was like, oh god!
like a sex pot ready to fall out of her clothes all the time.
It was funny. I just love the fact that you were just ready to go with that joke, and he didn't even know it was coming.
Yeah, your shirt is literally ready to come off at a moment's notice.
I've worn that on the no a couple times, and it just like unbuttons if I move like a slightest. I need to stop wearing that.
That means
shirt.
it's too.
Yeah, I
too
agree.
small.
No, it's just the buttons are loose. Hey, did you guys play the Destiny beta? Changing subjects. That was a good game, right?
It was good. I had a lot of fun in it.
What character did you play as? I played as Hunter.
Yeah,
I
did any buttons pop off your controller while you played?
I love being Hunter. I like the golden.
I played Hunter
fire
and
gun.
Titan. I'm not a big Warlock fan.
Neither am
problem
I,
I
but
have-
have you ever played the defensive Warlock? What's the other?
Warlock.
What did I say?
Warlock.
Warlock. What's
your
what's
warts.
the defensive one? Not the one that does the big
I'm not
blast.
sure.
Yeah. Because I'm with Gavin. I played Hunter, but I played the Hunter with the golden gun, not the one with the knife.
Well, that's that. You can have both.
Yeah.
The
You can have both?
The throwing knife is a melee.
No, there's a sword. There's one where the special is a sword, an energy
I don't think that's
blade.
the Hunter. The
Yeah.
one where you just go like.
Yeah.
Is that Hunter?
There's two different like studies that you can do. You can do the golden gun or you can do the big energy blade.
All right, you win.
I was in Dallas over the weekend, and
You know, it's something I was in some earlier versions of Destiny.
That's why I'm confused because I
Yeah.
played
And
other
it's
stuff.
it wasn't always all that clear. Like that you could do the two different like fields or concentrations or whatever you call it. People keep telling my glasses are crooked. Are my glasses
yeah,
crooked?
they are. I've been noticing it.
Which way are they
I think
crooked?
what
They're
what's
like
happening is
this
That
your,
side
one.
is
This
down.
side is way the fuck up.
I think your ears are
The-
crooked.
I like the
Yeah,
s-
no,
Look like the
there's
Nutty
no
Professor.
fucking question my ears are crooked.
I like the super of the Titan more because you can kill like multiple people.
Yeah.
Easily, and then the super
The
with
Warlock's got area of effect. though,
Yeah,
doesn't it?
but I don't like playing the Warlock. But the
Okay.
super for the Hunter, you can kill 3 people at best.
Did you guys get to go to the moon?
Yes.
How was that? I heard it was only open for like 30 minutes. Or you probably were you in the earlier?
But all the PvP was on the moon, wasn't it?
Well, no, but there was like single player stuff you could play on the moon. It was fun. It was good.
I
There's
like
a-
how messed up the moon looks.
yeah, it's like
a big
there's like
chunk
it looks like a
stuck
giant
out.
like creature just
Yeah, it's
came
like,
and
what
like
happened to the
clawed
moon?
at
That's
it.
cool. What is the gravity different? Do you jump more or is it
No.
no? Okay.
What I like about the golden gun though is that you'll be fighting, like you said, you can only kill 3 regular enemies with it, and you have to do it in a certain amount of time, which makes it scary. But if there's a dude with lots of health and your other teammates are just shelling the hell out of him, and you see his health going like really slowly, you could be like, I got this, and he's dead.
Yeah.
It's so satisfying.
But
to
it's
do
also
it
like frustrating when you like try to shoot like a captain with a ton of shields and a ton of health. You're like, bam, oh, didn't kill it. Bam, okay, fuck, I wasted 2 shots on that one. Then you
I
get-
always just immediately shoot all 3 because I always get too panicked when I've got one and I'm
The
trying to shoot
headshots are so satisfying on those guys because
Yeah.
like you shoot it off and then the light like beams out. It's kind of like Gears of War. Whenever you like hear that pop, I love that satisfying headshot.
Yeah, that's probably one of my favorite sound effects from a game. Is the sniper headshot? So I'm spitting everywhere in Gears of War.
I remember one time I no scoped.
I love
like
the torque bow.
Torque bow was awesome. Did you ever
bit
like
of a faff.
no scope or like blind fire a torque bow or a sniper rifle and just pop somebody?
Yeah.
It is
I
the
actually
coolest.
I talked about this on the podcast before, but at the end of Gears of War 1, you have to kill General Ram or whatever the guy's name is.
yeah,
the,
one,
like
yeah.
the main guy. I blind fire sniped him as the last shot on him. So I was just like almost about to die and just went right in the head and the game ended. I was like, oh my god, I wish I could have recorded that.
Yeah, that's pretty
I
cool.
use Xbox record that so often.
That is
it's
the
awesome.
best feature.
Yeah. I don't do anything with the videos. Like at one point I want to compile all of them and make like a
Yeah.
Gavin is
Like,
good at video
with-
games video or
With
something.
me, all of those, if you were to look at my file share, it's all power shot golf, like crazy shots. Like I chip it in from off the green really far. I'm like, Xbox, record that! And I'm like screaming at my Xbox to get so excited. My wife's like, what's going on? I'm like, I chipped it in from the bunker.
I would love it if it stored every time you spoke to your Xbox. It'd be like, Xbox, go to Netflix. Xbox players. Xbox record that. Like, every record that would be so like
Or
excited.
that's how your clip started. Was
Yeah.
like with you being super excited, like the tone of voice you used for
Or
that.
it could just grab your image from the Kinect too.
Yeah.
There's
Well,
a-
why didn't you compile all your awesome golf shots into a video
should.
and do it on Achievement Hunter? It would do well.
Absolutely should do that.
What's the game? Is it Burnout that would take a snapshot of you?
Yeah,
when
Burnout
you,
Paradise.
Yeah, when you crash.
And if you would like to see an example of that, watch today's Let's Play in Burnout Paradise.
Oh, really?
Where I had an Xbox Live Vision camera plugged in.
Oh, did you really? And you were playing on the 360?
Yeah, it's on the 360.
God, those cameras were so lousy.
This is vision camera.
What was that? The
If
tiny
you wanted
little
to
ones?
watch people fucking while playing Uno,
Uno just became like the Omegle like
And also-
chat roulette of Xbox.
I forgot, but if you leave an Xbox Live Vision camera plugged in, the dashboard goes all like watery
Right.
and liquidy.
well, it's the
with your
image of what
face.
it's displaying. Yeah.
Isn't the vision camera the one? It was tiny. It was before the Kinect, and it was like the only use was like Rainbow Six Vegas.
Yeah, you
put your
could get your face. We did that in our Let's Plays, and also it had
I've-
like a
I've seen that
tiny.
in
Oh,
Let's
your
Play.
face is like.
It had a
like-
little focus ring on it.
No,
Like
that-
it didn't autofocus or anything.
Oh,
That was,
shit.
that was probably the best moment in all the Let's Plays is your face in the Rainbow Six.
It just
thing.
looks so concerned.
When I press B to go into cover and I threw a grenade.
So here's from the IGN wiki that the subclass for Hunter is Blade Dancer,
Oh, you're right.
which gives you a super arc blade, charge your blade with arc light, and consume your foes with lightning. I never did it, but I never saw it. But I've heard of it existing.
I don't know if you saw it, but Bungie retweeted someone's screenshot from the Destiny beta where they were on the moon and they were looking around in space with a sniper rifle and they found Mars.
No
and you
shit.
could see it like tiny little red planet in the middle of their
So it's like
sniper scope.
accurately positioned Mars.
I guess so.
Wow,
Oh, that's cool.
that's pretty top.
Neil deGrasse Tyson, he's proud.
I'm sure.
I went out this weekend. I went out to a zero light campground.
I would love to do that.
was-
I've never done that.
I didn't go that far away. It was really, really cool. They had an
a dark
observatory,
site.
but it was closed for a private event.
Wait, what is this?
It's a place where there's it's a campground where it's determined there's no light pollution from like surrounding cities.
Oh shit.
So when you look up the sky, you see everything.
Yeah.
And in my journal, I put up some photos I took with my kid of some long exposure photos of the stars, and it actually turned out really well.
We were talking earlier about how difficult it is to take a long exposure of the sky. Because even if you're exposed for as short as like 2 minutes just to get all the light in, the Earth has turned just enough for all the stars to be little streaks.
Yep.
And it's amazing like how quickly the Earth is turning.
Mhm. Like our exposures that we have in my journal, it's roosterteeth.com/Burnie. Those are about 90 seconds each, and you can even see the stars are just kind of blurry, a little blurry, but at least it has like a really cool star field in it.
You ever seen a UFO?
We saw some shooting stars, but no, I've never seen a UFO.
UFO?
I don't
There was a
think
UFO
so.
just recently in Central Texas, wasn't there?
Was there? Oh, look,
Oh,
it's one
look
of your
at that.
pictures.
Yeah, that's
Beautiful.
it. So that actually has like the Milky Way there. You can actually see like the
Yeah.
we were that's looking through Sagittarius towards the center of the Milky Way. So out there you could actually see like the Milky Way itself, like that cloud of
Man, I would
lights.
love to see that.
Just go out there, dude. It's not that far. It
How far a drive was it? Like 2 hours?
was about 2 hours.
That could be the thing you
not
guys
bad.
do together.
No, because then we have to drive 2 hours there and then 2 hours back.
I'd meet you there.
Yeah, why don't you just drive separate cars?
I mean, we can do that. They're like, oh man, look at the time. We gotta go.
So
It was cool. JD had a blast. JD loves all that stuff. So I've been my whole life I haven't been into astronomy, and I'm now getting into astronomy. You want to see some badass stuff? I'll show you
yours-
some apps. Yeah, that's the one JD took.
Right on.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
had a.
Oh,
I think
wow.
I was a lot more into it when I was a kid. When
Color is awesome,
when
man.
Halley's Comet came around, I got really into it. Like I got a telescope
Was it
and shit.
1987?
86, I think.
No, that was when the Challenger blew up.
wasn't
you're-
born yet.
87? Yeah.
Yeah.
Equally cool to watch, but sad.
No, I was just going
Didn't need a
over
telescope
all
for
the
that.
shit. Like, I hate the fact that I've gotten old enough now to where the world has been supposed to be destroyed now like 10 times. Like, Halley's Comet was one of those harbingers of doom. And you remember what the big deal was at the time, which was Halley's Comet? Why everyone thought the world was going to end when Halley's Comet showed up? It
No.
was Nostradamus. Remember everybody would talk about
Was it
fucking...
Nostradamus after that?
No, but he predicted like the red comet would come back, and that was one of his predictions. And I remember as a kid hearing about this guy from the fucking 1500s. Have you guys ever heard of Nostradamus?
Yeah.
Okay, so he was this guy who was predicted all this stuff.
Well, it's easy to predict stuff that's happening.
Well, it's
isn't
easy
it?
to predict a comet, right? It's like,
Yeah.
oh, we know how often that thing comes around.
You know, like he supposedly predicted Hitler and Napoleon and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Hister, right? That's what he wrote.
Yeah.
Instead of Hitler.
Yeah, and so
Fucking-
like, and then that was gonna happen. And I was just
dummy.
explaining to my kids on the trip about because JD's big into sci-fi. And he says he thinks it's funny that in '70s sci-fi always talked about the year 2000 as being this really important year where all this cool stuff was gonna happen.
total shit.
And he's born after 2000. He's like 2000 is a piece of shit. That's not his words, but yeah. And and I was talking to him. I said, yeah, and it was really lame because 2000 was when the Y2K bug was going on. Yeah, all right, 1986. You are correct.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I saw a billboard, on the side of the road that predicted the end of the world. I can't remember where it was, but it was another like 2018, the world's ending. Is
It's
that
all-
just a thing that just
people
all
want
the
to? People
time.
want to be right about it.
You know what it is? It's a level of arrogance where you can't imagine the world continuing without you. That you would be important enough that you're going to be here in the slim window of time when the Earth gets destroyed. Yeah. And by the way, all those scenarios, the Earth is going to be fine. It's just all the people are going to be dead. You know.
Yeah.
In fact, scientists are saying right now that Earth is now in the middle of its sixth mass extinction event. That this is now classified as one of our mass. These happen periodically through time, where there's just
Well, where a
mass
bunch of crap
extinctions.
dies.
Yeah, and we are now had enough species go extinct, and we're now in a mass extinction period.
We did it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
survived.
Rhino's on the way out, isn't it?
Oh,
Oh man, yeah, that's sad.
that is
I saw that fucking disgusting Vice documentary about it.
I also read the rainforests don't make an appreciable amount of oxygen for the world.
Where's
Like
our oxygen come from? Isn't the rainforest huge?
algae.
Algae.
In the
And
ocean.
that we couldn't do enough, to kill all the algae that would then reduce like the amount of oxygen on Earth in order for us to feel the effects of less oxygen. Whatever would destroy the oceans enough to kill that much algae, we'd have other problems that are way worse than that.
Has anyone actually ever been worried about the world running out of oxygen?
Yeah, but they always talk
Spaceballs.
about like
That scene where he opens up a can of air.
Yeah. Over the fucking vacuum over the the planet.
Was it Perrier? Is it on the
Yeah. That was a good
I
movie.
love that movie. Here, I'm gonna read this.
That was Druidia, though.
I want to remind everyone this episode of the podcast is brought to you by Watch TV. The other day I was watching. I don't know anybody else. I don't know. Mariel's. I think the only other person here who watches the show. Nathan For You. Do any of you guys watch that?
Nope.
Yeah,
Fucking funny show.
it's a funny show.
I really did not want to like that show.
You got to really like that guy's shtick, though.
Yeah, he sticks with it, and
He goes and helps people with their businesses.
He shticks with it.
yeah.
Oh, is
He's,
this a
What's your
reality
favorite
show?
one so far?
he's done a couple that I like. I think I like The Private Investigator, which was pretty great. He also his Claw of Shame one, like the one where he did like the magic show.
Yep.
Was pretty fucking
Is
funny.
it like a reality show? Or what is it?
It's like kind of like a hidden camera thing. Also, where he set up the fake movie set to help the tourist trap in LA. So what he does is it's this guy he's a comedian, but he says that he graduated business school in Canada and now he wants to help struggling businesses with their with their business. So he goes and gives them like all these weird ideas for ways that they can drum up business and do things a little differently.
Yeah.
And then they just film the business owners' reactions as well as customers' reactions. Like in one episode, for example, he went to go help a guy with a gas station. Guy's like, how do I compete with every other gas station every other block? Nathan says, what you do is you sell gas for $1.75 after rebate. In order to get the rebate, though, people have to go in person to the top of a mountain, find a hidden rebate box, fill out a form, and leave it in the box. And it's all in the fine print on the form. And they offer a shuttle for people to go to. And then people show up, and then like they have to stay overnight. They have to answer riddles, and they have to go up to the mountain, and they have to like try to find where to leave the rebate form. It's really fucking fun.
And then he does one where a convenience store needs help. So he says a big thing is a lot of teenagers want alcohol, but they have to turn them away. So you're going to sell alcohol to minors. But they keep it, they tag it, and then they can come claim it when they're 21.
The liquor store keeps it. So,
yeah, the liquor store keeps it. Like
Brilliant.
Yeah.
They said that some kids are going to want to show their friends that they were cool, so they set up like a fake cool basement where the kids could hold the liquor and act like they were drinking it, and they could take pictures for them to post on social media.
Jesus. And I bet that worked, too.
Yeah, they had they showed like that a locker full of liquor with like little claim checks for the
My
kids to
favorite
come
was
back
the
when
cool
they're
kid
21.
that they hired, actor, to go into a school and go like, hey, I heard there's like a convenience store that sells booze right down the road. Anyway, check it out. I don't even know. And then he like,
They told him what to talk about. They told him to talk about how school sucks and how the internet's crazy. So you'd go up to kids and be like, hey, man, so school sucks, right? The internet, that's crazy. There's this liquor store around the corner where you can buy booze. It's really, really fucking
Wow.
funny.
it is, but it is. I feel that every episode is very similar.
Mm-hmm.
It is very, very similar.
And I was just watching it on, I was around it because I was watching it on Hulu Plus the other day. You can watch it there.
Yeah, but I mean, I'd say, it's one of those things. It's like, it's a very unique show.
Yeah.
I think that the internet has really changed what ends up on TV.
It's crazy.
At the high end and at the low end. Not that that's a low end show, but it's like the really high production value stuff like Game of Thrones, and then stuff that just like little comedy shows like that.
It's someone's asking on Twitter. It's called Nathan For You, and yes, it's the guy behind Dumb Starbucks. Apparently, that's gonna be the episode.
yeah, he did that.
That's gonna be the episode they released this week. Is the Dumb Starbucks episode?
Right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I had no idea that was him because I wasn't aware of the show at the time.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're familiar with that story. He opened up. I guess one of his things to help a coffee chain in LA was to rename the coffee shop Dumb Starbucks, and use the Starbucks logo, but just add the word "dumb" on it.
Yeah.
So they were open for like a day or two before Starbucks started threatening to sue them.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, just putting the word dumb on it made it officially a parody.
That's
So,
fun.
and that's what he did.
I wish I had internet.
It's a fun show.
I canceled my Time Warner service today.
Did you?
Why? You mean your internet? For those who don't live in America.
Yeah, no, I have to keep the internet because the Google Fiber's not there yet. But yeah, I canceled all my cable today because I just get all my entertainment from the internet now.
Yeah.
Didn't
David-
you already do that once before? Or was it Jeff that did that?
I had to get it back for HBO for Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
So what are you going to do next time?
I'll get it back for Game of Thrones.
What's the point in canceling? Just keep it.
I used to.
It's more effort to cancel it and start it again.
It's $100 a month, man.
I used to do that also.
What, extra $100 a month?
Extra $100 a month for the.
Who the hell would pay that?
Not me, apparently, but you
How do you
obviously
turn
would.
on a fucking dime? Wait, what?
What do you pay for your cable?
For my internet?
What do you pay for your cable? I'm
I don't
asking
have
you a
cable.
question.
You mean
Okay.
TV? I don't have it.
So I don't have it either.
Well, I know. That's why I didn't know how much it costs because I didn't smack and have
But
it.
why are you so upset with me for turning it off when you don't have it? You just called me out for turning off my cable and said, why go through the effort?
Well, because you know you're going to turn it back on. So
I
just
will
leave
turn it back on,
But
but
then you
it's-
said it was $100 a month, and I was like,
So
yeah.
what do you
But he's saving
what do
money
you do
in
when Game of Thrones
between,
comes on? How do you
not-
watch Game of Thrones?
How do I watch it?
I watch Game of
You go to
Thrones.
his house.
Oh yeah, I watch it. I watch it at Jeff's. I watch it at yours.
Watch it.
Yeah, no, I have HBO Go.
You know, speaking of canceling stuff,
How? If you don't have an HBO account.
I have someone else's.
All right, fair enough. Fair
College
enough.
Humor made a funny video about that.
I'm an honest person.
speaking
apparently.
of canceling stuff, I went to log into the AT&T website to pay my cell phone bill the other day.
How'd that go?
And it was like, and I just had this like giant pop-up window. It was like, hey, you should convert to this plan because you get more stuff and it's cheaper. I'm like, yeah, right. And I looked at it, I was like, no, wait, that's like $60 a month cheaper, and I get the exact same service.
No, did you switch?
Yeah.
You shouldn't do that. Did you have unlimited data?
No, fuck no.
Oh, you didn't? I know.
So you've just signed a new contract though, probably of like 48 months or something.
No.
You didn't?
It just like you just roll your existing one into it.
Unlimited
the
data is
small
not
print?
a thing. Were you with AT&T and then you got grandfathered in?
I'm totally grandfathered in.
It's not worth it though.
It's not unlimited. They start like, once you reach a certain amount of data, then they just start.
How much data do you
shitting on
use
your
a month?
Connection.
Listen, I was just about to check that.
I'm curious, but
That's
yeah,
how-
I have
the
5
new,
gigs. I've never come close.
Yeah, the new plan is unlimited
not trying.
talk, unlimited text, and a shared data plan for me and my wife. And I just put 10 gigs on there, and it's like and I had 6 gigs personally, and she had 2, so it's more data than we had before, and it's still like $60 cheaper.
I'm at 2.4 gigs right now.
This month?
It's not very much.
Yeah, you get by.
I could probably do it.
feel-
The thing though is that AT&T, when the iPhone was originally released and it was an AT&T exclusive, they had an unlimited data plan. Then they tried to get rid of the unlimited data plan, and basically, if you make any change to your unlimited account, they get rid of it. Like you can't do anything. You can't modify your account in any way.
Why don't they just flip you onto something that's not unlimited? Why are they keeping those old accounts?
Probably
think they
something
have
with the
to.
contract.
Yeah, I don't know. Why raise a fuss?
I don't like that you're
Don't rock the boat.
grandfathered into this unlimited thing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Here's what I don't have.
Yeah,
though.
real
Here's
cool.
what I don't have. I don't have tethering on my phone.
Dude, tethering is really useful.
Tethering
Is
is
a fucking
extreme.
bomb.
Is it that
Ashley
reliable,
does
though?
have it, and I don't.
Absolutely. It's just like connecting to a Wi-Fi. You don't know whether you're connecting to a router or a phone. It's the same internet. right?
Router?
Router? Is
No,
it that
Does
good,
it
though?
route your data for you using the Gavin free logic for when we mispronounce stuff,
Yeah,
or does
yeah.
it
Does it
route
route?
your data?
Yeah.
It
Would you
routes
say-
it.
It routes it.
It
Did you say
routes
Route
it.
66?
Yes,
You don't say Route 66?
it's a route.
Route 66.
Yes.
You don't say Route 66.
I say Route 66.
You're
What does
dumb.
RR stand for? We just said
Rural route.
Rural route. You're right.
Rural.
Rural route.
Roger.
I always think of that fucking stupid ass joke.
Somebody asked on Twitter, did we lose net neutrality? Yes, we lost. That ship has sailed.
Oh,
I'm a big proponent of net neutrality. No, that ship sailed.
Yeah, talk about that, because catch me up.
I've done a lot of talks about it, but we're just like, basically what they've done is
You didn't see a South by Southwest?
that was 2006. I was talking about this stuff.
8
Yeah,
years ago?
I just did a speech at VTV about it, but basically they're just going to prioritize the traffic of data online. Netflix in particular will have to pay more to get like the throughput they need to use their service. So
Netflix subscription will
and
be...
for a lot of people, it's not going to make a big difference, the net neutrality thing. What it is going to affect for a lot of people, I feel, is that people are not going to be able to build businesses like Rooster Teeth again.
Yeah. Because you can't afford to pay for the priority access.
Yeah, and that's what I always try to tell people when they say the number of questions I get these days. Like I was telling Gavin just today, I'm almost worthless at cons now because when I go to a convention, I really can't even go to the booth anymore because for years, I just sign everything. Like when I go with Gavin and Michael and Ray, we went to PAX. And it was like, hey, and everybody's like taking a picture with Gavin, taking a picture with Michael and Ray, signing stuff. And like, I take a picture, sign stuff. And it's like, hey, Gavin, you're so funny. And they say, something to Gavin. They get Michael to yell at them. They say like a catchphrase to Ray. And then they stop to me and they go, I would like to work at your company. And it's like a 15-minute conversation with every person. I can't, with the amount of people at a con, I just can't have a 15-minute conversation. And then literally the person, I know people are like backing up like to get to my end of the line.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, and just mail me here and do this. And then the next person is the exact same thing. And I always tell people, it's like, if the main inspiration that you've drawn from being a fan of Rooster Teeth is to get a job at Rooster Teeth, then we haven't really inspired you in the right way. And I think the big thing is that I would hope that people would see that we built something like out of a spare bedroom and like built it up into this company. And it's really tough because now people, one of the biggest challenges that we had when we started was we put out a video. And the first thing that happened was we got a bill for about $12,000 to $15,000. That's what it was going to cost us in order to serve red versus blue to people because there was no YouTube. We had to have a server ourselves with our own data pipes.
Yeah.
And that's how we started building stuff like our business model with t-shirts and subscriptions and things like that. We had to build those things because we had to pay for all that stuff. And now it's just going to be back to that, where it's going to be, services for people who don't want to like be a part of something like YouTube. They don't want to like go into one of those bigger companies. They're not really going to have a choice. They're going to have to go into those companies that are paying for those fast lanes. Otherwise, their service either won't be available in every region, which I think will be a nightmare, or that these data companies will say, okay, but you have to pay us so much in order to get on our video layer.
So that's going to happen to us then? We're going to have to pay...
No, I mean, we'll be okay. I mean, we'll be one of those companies that's okay because honestly, we can afford stuff like that if it comes up, you know what I mean? Or we can subscribe to a service that gets us on that. Like a long time ago, Gus, I hope you're okay with me saying this, a lot of our servers went away. And a lot of our servers went into the cloud.
Yes.
And like we pay for services like that. Like a lot of work that Gus would have to do about going to server rooms and stuff. Those machines like literally, I mean, they exist.
But yeah, we don't ever see them.
Yeah. Like you wouldn't be able to say like where our website resides.
Right.
Because it's like, it's in the cloud. Like all of our data is in the cloud and we have backups of it and things like that. But all that maintenance is done by other companies. So we'll be able to do things like that.
Thanks, Adam.
Yeah.
Smarter people than me worked on and implemented that.
And it really helps us with downtime. I mean, when Ruby came out last week was a huge week for content, by the way. I wrote my first episode of Red vs. Blue. I didn't write the whole thing. I wrote like the big chunk scene at the beginning. And then we had Ruby Volume 2 started last week. That was awesome.
Yeah,
that was really awesome.
It's great timing. I was talking before the podcast started. I was talking with Kara because she went out to San Diego Comic-Con. And I was asking her, how things were, how many people came by the booth. And she said, it seemed like there were a lot more people there for Ruby-related stuff than last year. Because last year it had just come out around San Diego Comic-Con. I guess people were still trying to feel it out. Now she said it was a lot more people there really into that Ruby stuff.
So you guys don't go to San Diego anymore. Why not? Why not?
For me, it's just bad timing. So close after RTX.
I just worn out or what?
Yeah, I'm just drained.
Yeah.
And I just can't bring myself to go out there.
And
it's a shame. I would love to go. I used to go to every single San Diego Comic-Con, and I just haven't been like in 3 years now. And I'd like to go back. I just haven't.
Yeah. You're not a fan or?
No, I just don't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was a bad experience at Comic-Con. My dad died like last year or 3 years ago. Last time I went to Comic-Con, and my dad died, and I was literally on a plane, standing in a booth in Comic-Con. I think 30 hours after my dad passed away. And it was a whole point in time. It was like, I resigned as CEO probably like 6 months after that. And it was just a point in time where it's just like, I was like so consumed with like work and everything here. And I don't regret any of that stuff, from doing everything I need to do to help build up Rooster Teeth. But it's just like, that was a big reality check for me. Like that whole period of time in my life when I was just like, what am I doing? It's like, I'm standing in a Comic-Con booth, like putting on a happy face. And it's like, it wasn't really honest. Does that make sense?
No, that makes sense.
Yeah,
so,
so it's like
that bad memory linked to that event.
Yeah, in general, like that was a really hard period in my life. Was 3 years ago at Comic-Con, and so it's like it's hard to separate that, and it's not the main reason why I don't go to Comic-Con, but it's like it's easier not to go.
Yeah,
it's a big reason. Like I had a really cool chance to moderate the Halo panel at San Diego Comic-Con this year, and I usually don't turn down things. I have to convince myself to turn something down. And I love all those guys, like the whole Halo team. And I want to see all those people because I hadn't seen them in a couple of months. And but yeah, it's like I can't do it. Can't go to Comic-Con. Just too much.
Have you ever been to San Diego Comic-Con?
I've never been, aside from RTX, I've never been to a convention.
Okay, San Diego Comic-Con is fucking crazy. It's just so packed and
It's so long as well.
Yeah, and like it starts on Wednesday night and then doesn't end until Sunday night.
Yeah.
It's just...
it's my least favorite event to
and
go
it's
to.
so huge. That fucking convention center is so damn big. And it's just like anywhere you go, like crossing the street takes half an hour.
What's it like? How many attendees? Is it?
Like 140,000.
Oh, fuck.
I went once with you and Becca and a bunch of people. It was probably like 7 years ago or something.
One year when I went, I think it was like, God, it was probably like 9 or 10 years ago. I refused to walk anywhere, and I made Caleb give me piggyback rides everywhere.
That's awesome.
And I was like, Caleb, give me a ride, and he just like carry me around.
Was that back when he was Moo Cow?
I started calling him C Unit for a while.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but yeah, he was Moo Cow at the time.
I never got a nickname. Yeah, I want to.
Fart Hoofer. How about that one?
Yeah, good times. Yeah.
I remember we went to MegaCon with Becca and Nathan. It was me, you, and Becca, Nathan.
I was not there. I think it was Jeff.
Was it Jeff I was with?
Yeah.
And we convinced Becca on the first day that who's going to sleep in the booth tonight. And like we started that about like 4 p.m. And the hall closed about 7. We're like, yeah, who's gonna sleep in the booth tonight? Just like, I don't know. I'm not doing it. I've done it way too many times. And like he immediately picked up on it. And so Becca's like, what is that? It's like, oh, somebody has to sleep in the booth every night just to guard our stuff. And she was like, oh, it's like we usually do. And like then Nathan goes, well, I can't do it. Nathan never says anything. And he just goes, well, I can't do it. And because he had to make some kind of phone call or something, he said. So Becca, like we slowly worked it out, passively, that Becca was the person who had to spend the night in the booth that night.
Yeah.
Which is not true, obviously. Nobody has to spend the night in the booth. And we're like, look, con people at night when the hall closes and like the people at their booths, like they'll come around and like there's like a whole party scene that happens, but you don't have to take part in that. You know, like they'll come around with booze and stuff. Don't drink it. But yeah, just don't feel like you have to have pressure to be part of that party scene. She's like, okay.
Jeez.
How far did you let her go before you told her?
We walked out of the convention hall without her.
Oh, man.
We went and got her back afterwards.
Did you guys hear about the whole DashCon fiasco? Have you guys talked about that on the podcast?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
talked
I was
about
not
it.
here
Yeah.
when you guys talked about that. I fucking love that story.
The pool, the
ball pit.
ball pit.
Yeah.
I think that's fucking awesome. Everyone is so down on it.
I want to go.
Let me ask you a question. Do you regret that you were not at DashCon?
I absolutely.
I would love to have been at DashCon.
Yeah.
That would be such a badge of honor to say I was at fucking DashCon.
Because it's not going to happen next year.
They should
No
they
fucking
should
way.
I bet that day they could have sold tickets for the next year event. Like the day everything imploded, they could have started selling tickets.
And people would have just gone just to see it.
They will have 2 ball pits. I wanted to buy the ball pit for RTX. I don't know where that ball pit ended up. I would have loved to have bought that for RTX next year.
I have a bad, I don't want to go in a ball pit now because of that Jackass bit where the snake was in there and he got bitten, all the
Ooh.
blood was in there. I was like, to me, all ball pits are full of blood now.
Oh my god, they're full of urine and
full
feces.
of piss.
Yeah, that's way worse. That is one of the craziest Jackass stunts ever. When that fucking snake comes out of the bowl and was it buddy's arm or
Bites his arm and then he's like fully bleeding from
Was
it.
that Bam?
yeah, it bites his arm and then wraps around him. No, Bam can't get
Yeah,
around
he doesn't
snakes.
do. That's what I thought.
I think
so.
it was Johnny.
was Knoxville.
Was it Johnny Knoxville?
I just watched
never
Bad
know.
Grandpa recently, like a couple of days ago.
That was
Yeah.
weird. I didn't like that movie.
Yeah, it was weird how they strung the narrative together.
Yeah, I didn't like the scripted parts. It was like
Yeah.
all the other movies have been fine, just candid.
It's
like
probably
that.
more like more like the Borat approach, where you have like these sets you want to get through. It's like, how do you string it all to get together?
I guess
That
so.
kid's got a future ahead of him, though.
I mean, they
Little
gave it.
boy.
Like, I'm so sad. Again, they gave it away in the trailer. The fucking stripper show.
Yeah.
At the end, it's like if I had just seen that without seeing that in the trailer, it would have been fucking.
That kid's got
amazing.
balls, though. I mean, like he's going somewhere, hopefully.
But you also have to admit, with Tumblr the way it is, that's the perfect con. They nailed the Tumblr experience, didn't they? Because it was like everybody got to go back and write on their Tumblr how fucking miserable they were at
tons of
DashCon.
content.
They fucking nailed it. They got the experience right. And it's like, it's the same thing with VidCon. You go to VidCon, it is like YouTube in person. Everywhere you walk, you bump into somebody because they're fucking videoing themselves.
Yeah.
It's like, these cons are perfect like that. They're absolutely perfect.
I hate VidCon.
VidCon's rough.
Just so many vlogger pricks. I think
VidCon
they're
is rough.
very important.
I'm looking up. I'm looking it up. DashCon 2015.
Confirmation?
Indianapolis Convention Center.
Do you want to go?
Yeah,
Fucking
please, let's
go.
do it. Let's do it.
I will absolutely go to DashCon.
Bernie and
I'm
Blaine
gonna-
confirmed.
I'm going to write them right now and see if I can be the keynote
But you know
speaker.
how relevant it's going to be by the time
Who
it comes
gives a
around
shit?
again.
We're gonna still. Yeah, actually, by the time it gets around, we'll be like,
I will. No.
I want to go,
I will
but I'm just
absolutely
saying.
go. I am so sorry that I missed
It
DashCon
sounds like a
this year.
drunken plan that doesn't happen the next day.
What did you do that weekend? What did you do? You had no idea.
couldn't
It was
tell
the
you.
weekend after RTX. I fucking slept.
Oh my God. If you had gone to DashCon the week after RTX, there would be totally different stories about that. Because it would be the ball pit, the money racing, and the fucking guy that set the
Meltdown.
place on fire. It would be all of those things. Oh my God. That would have been so fucking awesome. There was nothing there. There was nothing. It was like, it was
Just-
blank.
Just Tumblr people.
Oh my God. It was like a template. for a con.
Yeah, it's like they were looking at the floor plan the whole time. Like, yeah, we're gonna fill in some stuff here, and it's like nothing ever materialized. They just put a ball pit in
I
the
don't
middle.
understand Tumblr at all. I just don't get it. I don't know why people
Do you have an
use it.
account?
No.
No, you're just.
And it's like a bunch of people who whinge about crap. And then, like, what is it? What do people do? Is it
You know
like,
what
is it
Here-
blogs?
GIFs,
Be careful here, though,
mostly.
because you're talking about a platform, and a platform is not the content itself. And what you're dealing with, we talked about this earlier today. Like, there's a lot of times, like, hey, our thing, like, you had a video that came out this week that got on the front page of Reddit.
It's true.
And I did an AMA a couple of weeks ago that got put on the front page of Reddit as well. And we find that important because we like Reddit. But at the same time, people always send us stuff like, hey, you're on 9gag today. And we're like, what the fuck is that? But I'm sure, based on the amount of tweets that I get, 9gag is a very popular site. And that to be on the front of 9gag is a big deal.
Yeah.
But I don't even go to 9gag to check my own
I just see
thing.
the screenshot on Twitter.
You'd be really impressive to some 12-year-olds somewhere.
Is that what 9gag is?
That's what I don't know.
I got a 9gag with the princess thing, and I got like 80,000 notes on Tumblr with the Disney princess thing.
Yeah, that's the crap I look at.
That doesn't make sense to me though. I don't know.
Yeah, I just look at that stuff and it's like brilliant.
How many swipes did you
What
get?
does that mean for me?
That's the important thing. The Tinder
But
swipe.
so that's your thing with Tumblr, is that you don't spend time on Tumblr yourself. So your only
just don't
exposure to
understand what it
Tumblr is the extreme stuff, and then you associate that with Tumblr as a whole, where it's just a blogging platform. That's all
Yeah,
it
it's
is.
just full of like creepy and like whingy pricks.
There are creepy and whingy pricks on the internet. I agree with you. I don't know that they're isolated to Tumblr in
I'd
any
say
way.
it's weighted pretty heavily on Tumblr. Would you not agree?
I think you have a pretty heavy following on Tumblr though. Like they love you.
I'm
on
not into
Tumblr.
it.
No. Well,
Don't.
Bernie and I will be meeting them next year.
I would love to go to fucking DashCon.
Let's do it.
But I think there is definitely like young people have very intense, unfiltered emotions, and I think a lot of that gets poured out on Tumblr. Like that's a very young platform, I feel, and so that's what happens there, where it's like everything is either the best or everything's the worst.
If you could delete Tumblr,
There's something very pure about that.
would you do it?
No, I would never ever want to wreck something that other people like.
They wouldn't know it was you.
Okay, let me think about that. No, I never want to take away people's joy. I never would want to do that. That's why I don't like doing reviews.
So you wouldn't want to take away dogfighting?
Gus, do you like taking away people's joy?
No.
Some people find joy in dogfighting.
I like taking away people's joy, sure, but I wouldn't delete it. I mean, people like to gather, they're fine. I mean, it doesn't like it. I have no opinion of it. Like it doesn't stick to me at all. Like I don't know. I don't go there. Like you said, it's just like this other entity that's existing that I don't care about.
I guess I'm mad because I constantly have to hear. Like I've never been on Tumblr, but I always have to hear about it through like other people who I interact with a lot. It's like, oh, this was said on Tumblr. It's like I don't give a toss what anyone said on Tumblr.
You say that about any website, though.
I just always hear
You
about
don't
it.
toss about what anyone says on any website.
It's true. I just feel like I hear about the Tumblr bit all the time.
Yeah, it's just another generic word. It's just a place where people go
It's just a
to
platform.
find people. I mean, fine, good, have fun.
You can't ever define too when you make a platform. You can't ever define like who's going to end up using it as well. Like, for instance,
do you
how many
like-
times have you explained what you do on YouTube and you explain to someone in the entertainment industry and they're like, bah.
Yeah, but I don't really feel like I'm doing. Like, do you ever hear about crap from other people that you just don't care about?
All the time. I work at Rooster Teeth. That's like half my employee reviews. What, you have your own personal emotions? What a fucking waste of time. What's with all this ambition? What is the thing you do with all the time that makes you mad?
I just have to hear about crap because I don't really care about people's opinions online. 'Cause
You
I
don't
I don't ever give my opinions about other people's crap on their crap.
I think you don't like hearing other people's opinions of your stuff too. I think that's the main thing. And then you
It's
get
just
you get a flood of that.
I just like it that I can be like, here's some content for the internet, put it on the internet, and then walk away and make the next bit of content. I'd have to hear about it though.
One thing I have too is I don't mind going toe to toe with people on the internet. I've been on the internet for a very long time, and like, if someone fires at me, I fire back. We do it here on the podcast all the time.
Well, I fire other people on this podcast, but I don't go to them and do it.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is like I kind of have to catch myself a lot because I will give people shit in my own comments and stuff like that, and I do it all the time on YouTube now when I make posts. But like when somebody says something, I will fire back and say, no, you're fucking wrong. Like I did that on Reddit, and then I constantly have to remember this is like the weight is different. And so when I made a firing back comment on somebody on Reddit, he ended up deleting his account.
Ooh.
And I was like, well, that's not, well, first of all, you shouldn't do that. That's, you shouldn't take my opinion as being greater than somebody else's and running scared. But also, I don't get to delete my account, like my Rooster Teeth account. Like, that's not fair to be able to do that either. I don't get to run and hide and like go, delete
Do you kill him with kindness, or are you just like full on like fuck you?
No, this guy was like, fuck you. Yeah. He was, it was somebody basically, it seemed to me that it was somebody who's probably been listening to Rooster Teeth content for about 2 years, then went back and listened to old stuff and wasn't there in those years and talked about how we're completely different and off base from where we started. And I was just like, you're fucking coming out of left field. And I gave him all these examples of stuff we were doing back then that were exactly like what we do now.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, "Oh, I'm so embarrassed by this," and he deleted his account like 5 minutes later.
I just kill him with kindness. I think that makes him feel even worse. This is just you're super nice. And then
No,
you're
no.
just like, sorry.
Can I give you a piece of advice? I just don't respond to negative people as a whole. I mean, so
Yeah.
much negativity is that I think if people see that you're responding to negative people, they will know that negativity gets a response. And sometimes people just want the response. You know what I mean? I think so.
Yeah. I try to balance it out. Somebody's nice. I'll be
Like
like,
I watched
"Hey."
Gavin go back and forth with people on Twitter. Like you went back and forth with Ray William Johnson that one time.
That's not me yelling at like a fan or anything. Though. That's me yelling at someone I don't like on the internet.
The blogger guy?
Fuck off.
It's just like
he did a clip show, basically. He does the internet clip show.
You don't,
just
like, you don't
thought
like
it-
bloggers, do you?
I don't know what.
You don't like bloggers, yeah.
I hate vloggers
Vloggers.
because I hate like their general attitude. I'm sure some of them are fine, but what Ray William Johnson would do, he would just like take other people's videos and then put them all into his video, and then make the money on that, and then link them to the individual videos. But the videos would be embedded on his website, so we'd like make more money. It's just like don't do that.
that's
It's
shit.
really crappy.
Yeah.
All right. Well.
People are going to go to DashCon if we go.
Yeah. I know, I was
You should go to DashCon
turn it
anyway.
into
I
DashCon.
was a little afraid of that. Like people.
Absolutely go to DashCon. I would
Yeah.
totally do a panel.
I've been watching
eat a
you.
ball pit.
I've been watching you. I didn't realize this was a touchscreen because you kept on like, doop. Like
Yeah.
it looks like you're like, oh, your cute laptop. You've been touching it. So
Yeah.
It was messing you up in the Let's Play.
Yeah, we were. I'll give a little quick spoiler for that Let's Play, but we were getting ready to start playing, and Burnie's screen was dirty, so he went to wipe it, and his character started firing on the screen.
Yeah, I was explaining. I go, now, guys, you got to be really careful because ammo is important in this game. And I was going to show my ammo counter, but it was dirty there, so I went to rub it, and then it tapped the screen. It fired my gun. I was like, oh, shit.
And it's a game where you don't want to fire your gun because you can attract stuff.
Yeah.
And you were like,
Yeah.
nobody firing this.
Great game. Great game.
All right, well, it's time
That'll
to
be
wrap
out in a
up.
couple weeks, right? Not this
Yeah,
week.
that's not this weekend. It's a different game than probably the weekend after.
how many
We'll release that one.
podcast playthroughs?
We committed to do a month of them. But we got a really good response, I think, on the first one.
Yeah, it seemed to go
On the
well.
Last of Us one. So we'll see.
Why wouldn't you want to make it a permanent thing?
We don't have
It's-
have a space to do it.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's such a pain
bungalow.
in the ass. Yeah, well, we set up a space now. Hopefully, it can stay there and we continue to use it. Hopefully, it'll work. But even then, like recording in the bungalow, we can't record there before 5.
And the other thing too, Gavin, is like at the company, there's so much stuff you kind of have to pick and choose what you want to do. It's like I feel like the last place we need any help at the company is in the Let's Play environment. We got that. You guys have that locked
I don't
down.
know, I think people enjoy seeing a completely different team of people do it.
I get that people like it, but I just feel like as a whole, we don't need help in that area. I like going off. It's like, okay, this is covered. Let's go do something else. Like
Right.
and build something new. You know.
Yeah, I guess
So
that makes sense.
that's just my way I approach.
They're fun though.
They're fun though.
They're fun. All right. Well, thanks for watching, everyone. We'll be back on Wednesday with an episode of The Patch and next Monday with another episode of RT Podcast. Bye.
See you, DashCon.
DashCon.
Here at the Rooster Teeth Podcast, we have Miles and Gavin and Brandon and Gus and Caleb and Chris and Carrie and Matt and Lindsay and Barbara and Jack and Ryan and Jordan and Ben and Burnie and Jeff and Ray. Yeah. Woohoo! Bam. Hell yes. Harmonies. Falsetto.